This time I will have to put on some music in the background. I can only do this music because and I.
ये पहन के करना पड़ेगा।
I mean, you can if you want to. It's down. It's on. It'll take years to be actually on. ये वाली जो scene है ना इसको भी सही कर। Is this correct? जब यहाँ पे देख। So let's start off with the GJ.
Yes, that video.
The GJ so many videos. यार ये ऐसे जैसे you're like flying a jet. बटन ऐसे यूं दबाने हैं like this is launch mode, this is not launch mode. It's like the dimension. What was the name of the video?
Lord da Pava, Akhtar Lava.
नहीं जीजे की वीडियो
DJ की the video.
Hello everybody. What up? Let me introduce you guys to a god, right? Right? This is a god, right?
ਉਹ ਜੋ ਕੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਕਚਰਾ ਪਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਅੰਧੇਰਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਹੈ ਆ ਦੇਖੋ ਲਾਈਟਾਂ ਲਵਾ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਨਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦਾ ਚੇਅਰਮੈਨ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਅਫਸਰ ਲਾਵੇ ਨੂੰ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਦਾ ਨੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਵਾ ਲੋੜ ਦਾ ਪਾਵਾ ਅਫਸਰ ਲਾਵਾ
Yeah! What do you guys think about this? Okay, so it is not working. Let's go, chief. I need ball sack, just one. Understandable. Very understandable. Nikon.
क्या?
वो ये वाला. So how's it going, everyone? What's up? How are you doing?
WhatsApp only. वो लगाओ वो जो है वो जो वीडियो थी that was
Which one was it?
Zizek on Unheard.
Jake on and
Heard. HERD.
यार भी वो कीबोर्ड ऐसा ना
Yes. The Unheard.
We have to come to terms.
right?
Hmm.
Right, boys. Is that your father?
So
No. Lord the Pava Atala. Right? Remember that. Right? अब ये इसमें आ
नहीं,
जाएगी
ऐसे नहीं सुन सकते.
ऐसे नहीं कर सकते ना वो आवाज उसके अंदर नहीं आती है like
अच्छा,
they
अच्छा.
can't hear it यार I managed to get the Bluetooth thing just for this
I'm just
Bad
I'm
news for us.
anachronistic.
I don't think there is any natural balance to which we can return. You know why I was fascinated with the whole debate about the pandemic and so on, because it was one of those beautiful examples where you cannot say now it's not a time for philosophy, now we are dealing with real problems. our dealing with the pandemic, didn't it confront us with the most basic philosophical questions? In the sense of those who resisted wearing masks, vaccination, social lockdowns, and so on, wasn't their idea a certain notion of human beings as free beings? And their implicit idea was what the state authority is asking for us is something that encroaches upon, that limits in some basic sense what does it mean to be a human being. Now, I am more as you, and I proudly assume the term. Now, let me add some provocations to you to make it more spicy. First,
If
are we
anything,
aware that
if anything,
इधर साथ रख लो.
if anything, pandemic so where were we? If anything, pandemic reminded the world that the state has its roots in biological a blasé term. State is in let's say in the words of Foucault, biopower, or state is the term I was going to use was biological determinism. That when it came to possibility that people are going to lose their lives because of COVID and such, immediately the state becomes total. So it just reminds that state owns your lives in a way that your lives and the difference of being dead or alive is the difference which is the reason of the state's existence itself. Actually, that was like all of these commies, all of these idiots, new commies and newer new commies, all of them were worshipping the state and the lockdowns and Fauci and such, because the state was becoming total. But the argument was not new at all. I mean, what was the argument they ever had about it? It was the same old Hobbesian argument of Thomas Hobbes. What
was it?
That dude, Thomas Hobbes, for 300 years.
What was the argument?
The argument that the state of nature without any state, when we're living just in nature, the nature is brutish, and the life in nature is brutish, solitary, short, and such. So, I mean, it just, when there was a violence of virus at large, the state automatically became total. It just reminded everyone that state in its foundation, in its basics, is still Hobbesian.
Okay.
Now these people always try to pretend that Hobbes was too limiting and too. I mean, these people behaved in the most possible Hobbesian way as possible.
What is the Hobbesian way?
Like the state organizes itself to regulate the lives of citizens
Yeah.
basically for the security reasons,
Yeah. Just for like we are protecting you.
protecting you, ensuring that there is no killing, no bloodshed, and any kind of monopoly of violence is
So what else could
rests.
what else could have happened? I mean, the state had to.
Well,
Had to
if
step
there is
in.
no state, there is no like civilization or law and order which can protect lives in a regulated, organized way.
True.
Now, these people used to oppose the Hobbesian argument.
The argument that the state will become totalitarian.
Or the state is the guarantee, or we cannot exist without state.
Yeah.
They used to say that we can, and many anarchists, some libertarians even, they say we can exist peacefully without the state,
Okay.
which is impossible.
Yeah.
And I mean, some even in the libertarian argument, the protection of the property, the protection of lives, they say it can be done by localized mutual cooperation and localized entities, groups of people, groups of coalitions.
Groups and coalitions and stuff. But
But the thing is,
on the right,
you
where this on
cannot.
the right? It's for the right.
It's right. You cannot, even if you have some little aggregation to protect yourself from an outside attack or protect yourself from each other.
Yeah.
You cannot protect yourself from any other coalition. In a way that you cannot prevent some other coalition from becoming into a big aggregate coalition which is going to overrun you. You can maintain peace in your own aggregation, but you cannot prevent them from becoming so strong that they eat you.
Very true, man.
Very true.
Very true.
And-
Very true.
And
Very true.
it reminds me of something, well,
When I was a
something-
child,
no,
I had a.
it reminds me
This
of
is mine. It might have sugar in it.
Judith Butler once wrote an essay on critique. What does it mean to critique something? Like there was a meme on critique that Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am," and then Kant said, "Oh, be sad if I'd critique it."
Oh.
And he critiqued him, and he just fucked him.
Okay.
He Barclay. We
What
were
is
talking
the
about
what is
Barclay.
the what is the what is the what
Essay?
was the critique and what was the, can you describe the
The critique by
to,
Kant.
yeah,
on
and the
Descartes?
I think therefore I am thing.
Okay. The complete statement was that Descartes implied in his philosophy then
Yeah.
that the only thing I can be sure about
Yeah.
is myself,
Yeah.
and that I think,
Yeah. True.
and everything else is doubtful.
Okay.
So Descartes, in a way, in fact, very dogmatically, or very, you can say, very assertively, declared that there is nothing else which can be known. The only thing that can be known is that I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
And everything else which we know doesn't think, or we don't know doesn't think, cannot say that it exists. which was to say that I cannot prove that you exist. It can be mere illusion, which just
But
Berkeley said-
everyone can prove that they exist.
No, the Kant's argument, it looks like a very kind of childish, very
Yeah.
shallow kind of argument, but it's not. Actually, it means something technical. And Kant read it technically, which was that Kant said, if you exist, you think you exist,
Yeah.
it proves that other things you experience through certain conditions, which
Yeah.
is transcendental idealism.
They
for
don't
Kant.
exist.
So those things, those conditions will prove that other things also exist.
Yeah.
Now Descartes said it's impossible to prove that, but Kant proved that it's possible to prove that other things exist.
Other things
because you exist and because you think you exist. Because
Yeah.
if you exist, the only step Kant needed was to prove space. The space and the things in space, like this space and you, a thing or a person in the
Yeah.
space and such things in space. Now, Kant said, if you think you exist and you yourself are a subject and you are yourself not space,
Yeah.
then there is you think you exist, and there is the non-you. This is non-you.
Okay.
This is non-Descartes. And if you're not space, then the non-Descartes is space. And when you prove space, then you can take magnitudes
I always thought
with
of
magnitudes you can
I always thought of it like this, where the Descartes thing. I always thought of it like, this is like the least possible thing that proves existence, right? So you can build upon that and say other things also
Actually,
exist.
it looks like that. But in Kant's time, in those times, this thing was not meant in that way. It was understood in a way, it was the top, it was the cutting edge philosophical debate of that time, that he says that everything else is doubtful. Now Kant had to prove, and this proved.
Oh, okay. So I always thought of it this way, that how the thing that he's saying is that this is like the basis of it all, and you can prove everything else from here.
No, it was quite the opposite.
Oh,
Therefore,
that was dumb then.
Therefore, no, that was. I mean, look, it proved really fruitful.
Yeah.
So that's why you can say science progresses through disagreement. How Kant actually critiqued Descartes laid the foundation for the possibility of the science we know today. That's really important.
That you can prove everything else from this fact as well.
You can, yes, you can.
Oh, this means I've always been thinking of it as I never put it in
Kant
words
thought.
as a Kant thought.
No, the thing is, his notion was quite technical, because the way he reads space. Suppose this is Descartes and this is non-Descartes, and this is space. If Descartes is not space, then Descartes' existence proves the space.
Yeah.
And if you have space is the condition for every kind of knowledge.
Exactly.
Now, how that condition is used? Because in space you can draw magnitudes. Like, I can never know you or this chair as a thing in itself, which is the Kantian condition.
Okay.
Not a thing in itself, as a thing in how is this chair existentially? What does it think? What does it feel? How or which size does it perceive itself to have? Or which dimension it considers itself to exist? The only thing we can know about this chair about this wall, about you here sitting, is that we can draw some magnitudes in space
Okay.
from our prior experience, and then we can keep those magnitudes as transcendental magnitudes, as a synthetic a priori concept.
But then I don't get the
And then we apply it.
I don't get the argument of Descartes then, because what was he trying to say then? Like that is what I don't get then, because the only thing that can be implied from this is that you have to have like a building block for existence. Like you have to agree on at least this thing that you exist, and then you'll build upon the thing, right? But what was his argument? If his argument wasn't
His
along
argument
this
was,
side,
his argument was
yeah,
the kind of which Kant calls material idealism.
all right,
So Descartes' idealism was problematic idealism.
okay,
Kant named it problematic idealism. The problem with it was, as Kant saw,
yeah.
was that
No, but what was the argument? That is the thing. What was he actually trying to say then? Like if it wasn't that, because I don't think there is any other way to interpret it.
Kant accused Descartes of material idealism because of this.
Okay.
Now, what is material idealism?
What is it?
Material idealism is that you cannot, of the Descartes version, that everything other than myself, because I think and I exist, everything other than that is doubtful, impossible to know. The implication was that only thinking beings, this is the idealism, only the thinking beings can know,
Okay.
or only the thinking beings can be known,
Okay.
and non-thinking beings cannot be known. Suppose you're a thinking being, I'm a thinking being, this is a thinking being. It
Yeah.
can report itself.
Okay.
It can speak its existence.
Yeah.
So that was the idealism, that only the knowledge that can produce from ideas which necessarily exist in a thinking being can prove existence.
Oh, okay.
And well, we'll talk about sometime how it relates to transcendental idealism of Schelling. We'll talk about that. But here we were yet talking about Judith Butler wrote an essay on actually she was just quoting
Yeah.
Foucault,
Yeah.
Foucault's critique. And then Jürgen, what's his name, or whatever his name, Jürgen Habermas. Jürgen Habermas kind of opposes Judith Butler on that. But the argument in the essay was that she was critiquing
Okay.
from Foucault's critique. Everything is that same sweet little girl philosophy, that everything is subjective, everything is a construct. Well, Kant always proved that it's wrong. So that's another thing. Because Kant, the transcendental idealism of Kant always proved that no, there is an external reality and you can prove it. And that laid the foundation of sciences.
Okay. Yes.
The philosophical foundation of science.
Exactly.
But she was saying that everything, or the Foucault, or in that essay, Foucault was saying that everything is a construct. Everything is
Everything is a construct, man.
Everything is a construct. That stupid thing to say. Now, Jürgen Habermas replied to her that we should critique things as far as it's kind of useful, humanly useful to critique things. Like, we should not deconstruct a human person. We should not
What does that mean? We should not deconstruct human?
person. Because Foucault's critique did not even arrive at anything like human dignity, anything like personhood. Just an animal as well. It doesn't prevent animality. Just an organism with a mass of cells which is coordinated.
Yeah. And isn't that true?
That's true. The thing is, you can critique away everything. So what's the point of such a critique?
What is the point of such? What is the point, man? What the fuck? What is the point, man?
Jürgen Habermas said that if we critique everything,
Yeah.
keep doing it, and then we just, okay, well, we have stupidly deconstructed everything for nothing,
Yeah.
and there was no point, then we can even lose some useful things, like how can we say that violence is bad? How can we say that violence is bad? Or how can we say that a subject or a person has a dignity?
Yeah.
If you deconstruct if you critique everything, then you lose the most human things, the most basic human things.
But bad and good, right?
Yes,
These
you lose the
ideas-
definition of the bad and the good.
But is there like a certain definition of bad and good?
Well, I mean, whenever there is a possibility that there is going to be a violence somewhere, like this in a video,
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
video, he'll be very clear, like every new commie or old commie or every liberal, that
This is bad, this is bad, this is
Russia,
good. Yeah.
Russia attacked Ukraine, this is so bad, and such. And he's also passing judgment on
Yeah.
people not complying to lockdowns,
Yeah.
people refusing to take vaccines.
Bad and good, it just depends.
No, but now it doesn't depend. They're just in an agreement on it, and they are even the supporting the state.
But overall, if you think about it,
Totalitarianism,
even if
right?
they are in agreement of it, right? There is another person who is not in agreement with this, who doesn't think that is bad
Yes,
and that is good.
but somehow, how do they think these are suddenly universal values? How come they agree on this?
I feel like it's not.
They can agree on. They can't.
They're
agree
not.
On
They
anything.
don't say it as. I mean, they come off as saying it like, you know, it's a universal value or something.
Look,
But it's just their values.
the thing I was telling, it's going to answer that.
And here's the thing: the thing with these people is that they want to feel morally superior, right? So they will always say that the value that I have is the universal value.
But they don't have a value. They say that they don't carry a value. That value itself is a violence.
But they do carry some values.
Well, obviously, you cannot even. I mean,
You can't even exist, man, without
You can't even go to bathroom without assuming that.
assuming that. Yeah.
So he has created a ruse that no, it's not value, it's ideology. We'll go into that separately. But the thing I was talking about, Habermas replied to Judith Butler that if we deconstruct everything, we're not even left with a subject, which is
Sure.
we're not even left with a person. We are not left with some person with a human dignity. We are not left with human dignity even itself,
We're not even left.
with anything.
We are, yeah.
So how will you judge a Nazi or a Stalin or a libertarian or a religious fundamentalist like the great Muslim jihadis?
Yeah.
How will you oppose them?
Right. Okay, man.
Yeah, yes, Allahu Akbar. And you know what she replied? She is such a sweet little girl,
Who?
even though she thinks it's an insult to call her a woman.
Alright.
But she's a woman,
Wait, who?
Judith Butler.
Alright.
So she replied, "No, why are you talking about defending a subject? First, we have to think that is the subject itself a construct, a product of the patriarchal, oppressive constructs? Because the subject is already always gendered, which is patriarchal tyranny. So,
I get what you're saying, man.
do you get it? So this
White
and
privilege
so
exists.
therefore we should even
Yeah.
deconstruct the subject. Do you know where does
Yeah. Right.
genderist
Transcendental.
transgenderist stupidity come from?
Where?
This thinking. We need to recreate the subject.
I mean, this thinking, or is it innate in a human being? I mean, we have to be very careful about this.
the strange
Like,
thing is,
I
the
always
point
think of it
was
like
the point
this.
of this whole thing and this whole digression from him
Yeah.
was that how come they and he's gonna, no, I'm not a postmodern. You are. Well, you don't know that, you idiot.
I think if like in nature, if like it is like nature of man, like the phallus of man and everything, like if like the phallus is like the in is what makes a man and stuff, right? Then chopping off the phallus, right, is not a very is not a it is a is very unnatural for a person, right? Like if we think of it as like the phallus as the nature of the of man and stuff, right? If we think of it like that, then it is very unnatural, right? Now, if here's how I think of it: if there's a person who's willing to chop off his penis, right, and then we gotta fucking acknowledge the existence of it and call it as natural as it is.
No, the problem in this argument is that human dignity is not an individualist or an individual construct. It actually it's collective to it creates an individual, but then it binds that individual in that framework which created that individual.
I didn't get it, but it's okay. It's okay. But like,
You
think,
can even say
I think
the
it's
language
not a. I
the
think
language
it's not
which
a,
created a man or a woman.
I don't think it's like it's a thing that exists, okay, and I don't think we can say that
Think
that
about it
it's
this way.
something that comes from someone getting influenced by something else or something like that. It is even if someone, I mean, a thought like that wouldn't even arise into the world if it's not even if it's something that is influenced and stuff. How would that even arise? That is the question. Like, how would
Look,
you even get
these
an origin of a
people-
thought?
think about it this way. Take language itself.
Oh, no.
Let's say language has created in language what is a man and what is a woman. Suppose.
Yeah.
Now the language has an individual dimension, but it has a collective dimension. So the other people
Yeah.
are getting defined by the language, and they are defining you by the language. And that language, suppose the language of the words like human dignity,
Yeah.
those words or those constructs.
That is what language is, man. It's like fucking you are a thing, and then in order to describe what thing you are, you gotta have like language, man.
But if there is no language, there is no thing. That's what postmodernists say.
If there's no language, there is no thing. The thing exists. This is what I think. I don't know
The thing exists because the language exists. This is the argument of Derrida.
Yeah, the thing exists. No. The thing exists, and then we put a language on it, right? In order to like describe it
No,
and stuff.
The postmodernists,
Yeah.
these new.
Why would you even want to create a language if it's just like it's a way to communicate, like this is the thing, right?
No, they think that there is no
Who are they, man?
witness, and
Who are
you
they?
know, by the same token, this idiot and Derrida, they used to say that we are so oppressed.
Yeah.
We don't have a language
Yeah.
in which we can tell how oppressed we are.
Ooh.
So they say that we don't even have a language that can tell how
We don't
oppressed
even have
we
a
are.
language, man.
But then they say,
yeah.
even if you say that you don't have a language in which you tell you're oppressed,
Yeah.
still you're working in the language. So there is no escape of this matrix, this phallogocentrism, this patriarchal
So what do we do?
phallogocentrism.
Do we not fucking create language to describe shit, man?
No, but they say they are oppressed and they want to tell it. How do you want? But why? Because telling something also implies language. Actually, the impulse to tell something
No.
also implies language. Now, this is going to lead to something which is my original philosophy, substantialism. I'll talk about it later. But that's a straight. But the statement of that philosophy is we are moral, therefore we are. Instead of we think we are moral, therefore we are.
We are moral, therefore we are.
Yes, we'll talk about it. But the way they say it,
Yeah.
we cannot even express how oppressed we are, man.
Yeah.
Let's say he starts doing some in a public park. He starts doing some discombobulated jumping and rolling on and
Using something
twisting
that,
his body and to tell in a way,
Yeah.
to tell other than speaking it,
Yeah.
that how oppressed he is.
Yeah.
The thing is, what will happen? People will think he's gone crazy and they will take him to
So that's why
Madhouse.
we have to have a language, man.
so
we can
they will
describe
take you
it.
they take him to
Yeah.
a madhouse.
Yeah.
Now, this is also logical. The book of Foucault, Civilization and the book Madness and Civilization,
Yeah.
he says that there are two limits to civilization. One, the upper limit is prisons.
Okay.
Prisons is for the people who are not in the civilization.
Huh?
And there is madness for the people, the madhouses, the mental hospitals for the people who are below civilization. Now, Foucault said both of these institutions,
Yeah.
prisons and mental hospitals,
Yeah.
they look the same, they feel the same, they have the same discipline, they have the same buildings.
True.
So, in a way, prisons and madhouses
Yeah.
are let's say, a joint limit of civilization.
Okay.
So obviously, a civilization is what is also has been produced by language. Then what is outside civilization? That is mental houses and prisons. Now, let's say we put him in a mental hospital,
Yeah.
and he says, "Why have you put me in the mental hospital?"
Yeah.
I mean, he'll have to use language to say that he's in a mental hospital.
Yeah.
He will have even to have language in order to prove to himself that he's in
another dimension.
a madhouse.
Bro, why do you want to be in a madhouse? So, in all, we have just discovered that language. We have to create language.
Yeah, we have to create language. In fact, actually,
Yeah.
it's a way to silence people. To tell them what you can speak is oppressive.
Yeah.
Therefore, you better be silent.
But we gotta create language, man. I'm telling you. You gotta. There are some feelings that one can't really describe. Is there a feeling that one can't describe?
Well,
Is there a feeling? That is the question. Is there a feeling that one can't describe?
is there any feeling one can describe?
Is there any feeling one can describe? Okay, that is.
It's impossible. The
Yes.
words are good tools, but they're never good enough tools.
We can't really tell the extent of.
You can never tell. I mean, it's just language is a good approximation.
बकवास कर रहे हो तुम.
So कैसा दिया फिर? But where
अच्छा.
were we? Why were we talking about this?
Man, fuck that shit.
Yes, he was clear on COVID and such.
Yeah. Right. Let's go back. आता है कोई देखता है ठीक है और कहता है कि क्या कर रहे हैं मैं जब पे चल रहा है किसी ने हैंड कुछ बोला ही नहीं है 2 मिनट
Who is that man?
20 मिनट बाद जो है ना we are replying to this person. Man, you might have left by now. Alright. Yeah, you know what? Let's just describe what the oh नहीं, there are people वो चल नहीं रही है chat.
Oh fuck it. Well, leave them. Just go.
Interesting. Oh my god. Wait, there were people here. Wait, what the hell? Lucky Predator had a great chat last night with Emma, who was born intersex. Well, Lucky? Or Lucky the Lucky with the doggo? She? Yeah, intersex is different.
Well, intersex are God's people, and we should sympathize with them.
Right, okay. God is a social construct. What do you think?
Play.
Right, play this.
To be free, not in the abstract sense
Yeah,
of
yeah, because it's in
suicidal
the-
explosion like in revolutions and so
Is
on,
it working?
but to be
No,
Okay, now it is working.
free in our
Present.
daily, ordinary life
I can't.
means that you are
Can't hear
free.
it.
Yes.
Fuck, man. और आधार का उसने ट्रांसमीटर दिया.
ये बटन वगैरह तो नहीं मसला कोई?
Only
Ah,
within
alright.
a
I don't
certain
know.
network
No.
of implicit and
Oh, मुझे
explicit,
लगता है charge.
but especially implicit, unwritten often rules. What does it mean, freedom? Or more fundamentally, freedom is freedom of thought. It means, because we think in language, that I have to.
Zizek is in another dimension, man. Zizek is like he's ossifying hate, and the philosophy, and Zizek is in another dimension, man. Nah. Zubeek, what up, man? I don't even know what is going on. Dude, let the man talk. All right, okay.
Totally subordinate
Let the man talk. Okay.
myself to rules of language. I have to think fluently.
See? He's talking about
Yeah,
language
he's
too.
also talking about language. Right, okay, wait.
He overheard us.
He overheard us. What a bitch.
In language. What does it mean, social freedom? It means that I expect others to obey certain basic rules. If I pass them on the street, they will not spit at me or beat me or whatever. So that's for me a good, not so much Marxist as Hegelian, returning to Hegel. Rules.
Why does he struggle so much? Why does he? It's like he's saying something really profound or something. Like fucking the structure of the universe
he's
is
not.
like.
He's not.
Is like.
He calls in German.
Okay, let's. Do you want to undo him?
How do you undo him? Like.
If you have to, it's just in my phone. His greatest book
Yeah.
and his stupidest work.
Okay. How do you? What are we gonna do? Are we gonna read through the book?
A little.
All right. Okay. Sure.
Do you want to do it now?
Yeah. Let's do it. I mean, why not? Dude needs a better mic. He's already hard to understand. He's not. It's actually not that hard to understand. Which way are the maestro marbles rolling, Willy? Can we roll too? What are you talking about? Choosy, bruh, man. I want to be like Choosy Heretics. You don't know. Look at this man. What do you think about the Carnation Revolution? The peaceful revolution of 1970? No, 84. What do you? Right. Okay. He's in another.
No, I'm just finding that passage.
Yeah. Wait, which dude are you talking about that needs a better mic? Us or him?
It's collective mores, mostly unwritten standards, which form the substance of our being. And here, to return to our topic, you know where surplus enters? You British should know it. You are the masters of this, of what? We usually think, when I am in certain social circles, when I try to become member of it, that I have to learn the rules. No, even more than to learn the rules, you have to learn the second level unwritten rules, which tell you how to deal with the explicit rules. Isn't the basic paradox of our social life that we have rules, but at the same time, you are expected to violate these rules in a very precise, codified way.
What happens to those?
Oh my god. Alright. Okay.
Okay. This is most famous book.
You could just tell me I could get the PDF here.
The Sublime Object of Ideology. Yes, download it.
Yeah. Just the sublime object of your mom. Wait. The sublime.
She's pretty. Sublime the sublime object. I don't think the free PDF is.
Object of ideology, yeah.
You have to go to libgen.
I don't think that is not that is like PDF. It is
Page is 332,
page 332.
but that's another edition. You type something, search in the book.
Search.
Find.
Find.
Below find. Yeah.
Find, yeah. Okay. What type?
Kantian, then
Kantian. Kantian?
then
How do you spell Kantian?
yes, no, A. A after the K.
Oh, Kantian. Kantian. Notion?
Kantian, then
Then Kantian, then Kant himself.
yes.
Right.
Good.
Okay. Okay. So now I will shift it.
Actually, this is I have checked is another book, Incontinence of the Void, but this is like the really most famous book, and this is the only book, his only book I've really read.
Alright. Kantian, then Kant himself. Oh my god. This is like fucking. This is another dimension. Alright, where is it? Where?
But here again, this Hegelian approach, just leave it there.
But here.
Here,
again-
yes. This whole paragraph. But here again, this Hegelian approach can give way to misunderstanding if we read it as an assertion that, in opposition to Kant, who tries to reach the thing through the very breakdown of the field of phenomena, by driving the logic of representation to its utmost in dialectical speculation, we must grasp the thing in itself from itself, as it is in its pure beyond, without even a negative reference or relationship to the field of representation. This is not Hegel's position.
Okay.
This is not Hegel's position. The Kantian criticism has here done its job, and if this were Hegel's position, Hegelian dialectics would effectively entail a regression into the traditional metaphysics aiming at an immediate approach to the thing. Hegel's position is in fact more Kantian than Kant himself. It adds nothing to the Kantian notion of this element. It merely takes it more literally than Kant himself. Okay, and he will say something about purely negative presentation. Okay, that the very inadequacy of the phenomenality thing is the only appropriate way to present it. Hegel's position is in contrast. Go down.
Hegel's position, of course. Hegel's position is in contrast.
That there is nothing beyond phenomenality, beyond the field of representation. The experience of radical negativity, of the radical inadequacy of all phenomena to the idea. The experience of the radical fissure. Between the two, this experience is already the idea itself as pure radical negativity. Where Kant thinks that he is still dealing only with the negative presentation. We are already in the midst of the thing in itself. For this thing in itself is nothing but this radical negativity.
Whoa, man.
So that's it. Till, what is that?
Radical negativity.
Yes.
Okay.
Go. Below,
This.
below.
Below.
Back, yes, this, and up there.
Okay.
To
Here.
up there, the upper one too.
Yeah. Okay. I have to go from here to.
Yes. So we gotta read this, parse it.
Okay.
Actually, in a way, it's a gist of the whole book, the position he's trying to claim.
Okay.
What generally in this book, Zizek is saying is that there is no possibility of knowing things.
Okay.
Because there are no things.
Damn, man. Damn, man. There are no things. So there's no possibility of knowing.
There is no possibility of knowing things in phenomena.
Right. Because there are no things.
Because there are no things.
What the fuck does that? What the fuck does that even mean?
That all we can do
Yeah.
is use ideology
To know things.
to know things. What is ideology? Let's say in Hegelian terms, it's what Zizek calls is radical negativity.
Okay. Ideology is radical negativity.
That we say there is nothing, there is no thing, whatever we perceive or know about things
Yeah.
is just the phenomena of it.
Ooh.
Now, what is phenomena? What is phenomena of
What is
something
phenomena of something?
that we see or perceive as we think we perceive?
Okay.
Not that the thing is such, because there is no thing. So,
Man,
so
there is no thing, bruh.
so there is this presentation of you.
Yeah.
There is this presentation of you.
Yeah.
And then there is you.
You. Yes.
Now they say there is no you.
There is just a presentation of you.
Yes. And yeah. That's radical negativity.
So there is no you. You are just a product of your ideologies.
Okay. And this idiot
Yeah.
declares that in this way, Hegel
Yeah.
is more Kantian. Now, this was something I always admire about these idiots. He's saying that in this way, Hegel is more
Kantian than
Kant himself.
himself.
And the can we put the
Huh.
sorry can we
Huh, it's a whole new dimension to explore.
अच्छा नहीं मतलब सुनो अब इस बात पे उसका क्या मतलब है
Huh.
कैंट ये कह रहा था कैंट was saying that there is a thing
Okay.
which is a thing in itself, like this wall, like
Okay.
you, like this
Yeah.
chair.
Yeah.
It's a thing in itself which we can never know.
Okay.
But there is a presentation, a representation of this thing,
Yeah.
of which if we take appropriate magnitudes and turn it into a concept of this thing,
Yeah.
this is the thing.
Yeah. And if
And
we,
then there is a concept,
of this thing,
which
yeah.
is a synthesized presentation
Yeah.
of the thing.
Yeah.
We can note this. And
Okay.
this corresponds to this. We can
Okay.
never directly know this.
Okay.
We can only know, we can only cognize the concepts of things. We
Okay.
cannot cognize or know the things directly.
My God, man.
Now,
Why can't we?
what Hegel says,
Yeah.
according to Zizek,
Yeah.
is that there is only concept. There is nothing behind it.
There are no percepts.
Yes, in a way,
Yeah.
there is only percept.
Yeah.
There is not a concept. There is not a. The difference is actually
Yeah.
technical. We're not going to go into that.
Yeah.
But there are only percepts, which we think are concepts.
Oh my
But-
God.
Actually, there is nothing behind them.
Okay.
Now, this is not at all. The thing is, the stupidity of this, point where he's undone, well, effectively, this is not what Kantianism is. And Kant proves you can never, Deleuze, Maimon, all of these idiots, this including this Zizek himself,
Yeah.
they always try to, you know what they are trying to fight?
What?
Can't. But you can't simply fight can't.
Can't. It can't be.
Yes, you can't simply fight can't. Nobody can fight can't. There was a meme. There was a famous meme. But where is the Kantian simp? Where is this Kantian simp who believes that there are things and then there are concepts of things? Who is that Kantian simp? Well, I said, here is Kantian simp. But the thing is, Kant was a simp. He was like, he was boring, very unromantic man who was never interested in women, never even bothered to marry.
No, that's Giga Chad.
Yeah, you can say that, but
that's Giga Chad.
He was
Simp
like,
is...
mainly he was just a sad dude, very sad dude.
No, but that's Giga Chad, right? That's Giga Chad. Like you
can call him simp,
उसने लड़कियों को इतना लान
but you can never.
No, उसने इतना लड़कियों को लान पे रखा हुआ है. He doesn't even talk to women.
You can't simply fight Kant. Nobody can fight Kant.
But Kant.
All they have been trying to do is to fight Kant. Now they're trying to supersede him through saying that Hegel was more Kantian than Kant himself. No. What he says is Kant was, in order to transcend the concept of the thing, this is the thing, and this is the concept of the thing.
Yeah.
Zizek says, or Hegel says, that in order to know the thing through the concept.
What is the thing, man? Yeah.
He just becomes prisoner of the thing.
Oh my god! Oh my! Even in a fucking brother, robots are taking over.
But the way he says that Hegel is more Kantian than Kant is that there is no thing. There is no thing. There is
not even a thing, bruh.
It's just the presentation of thing, and the presentation is our mind's construct, which we can always make into anything. So here these people are the little sweet little girl philosophers, including Hegel, including this idiot, who say everything is a construct, everything is a construct, everything is subjective.
Yo, I'm just popping in to say hi. I can't afford to participate though. I gotta spend my energy on cleaning today. But you can't. Oh my god! Amazing, man. Amazing. The wordplay. We're talking about Kant and Kantian philosophy. And there is nothing to clean. What are you talking about? There is nothing.
No, that's what Hegel said. There's nothing to clean.
But there are
Kant
things.
says there is thing. There is the thing. The thing is you cannot clean it because you cannot reach it.
Oh my
The
god.
only thing you can reach is the idea of the thing.
Oh, and what is the idea of the thing? Can the idea of the thing exist without the thing?
That's what they say.
That the idea of a thing cannot exist, can exist without the thing.
That's what they have. Therefore, this idiot, including Hegel, is a Spinozan. And you know who else was a Spinozan?
Your mom. Sorry, I had to, yaar. Your mom, you walked into that one.
But who else was a Spinozan?
Who?
An unwitting Spinozan.
Who?
Somebody who didn't know that he was a Spinozan.
Who? What the fuck? Who are you talking about?
Nietzsche. And this makes Nietzsche himself into a sweet little girl. So who is Nietzsche? A sweet little girl.
There it is, boys. We have uncovered the truth today, right?
नीचा की
Who
पिक्चर
is-
निकालो जरा.
Who is Nietzsche? Nietzsche is a sweet little girl. Karen, how you doing? Karen, you're still alive, bruh. What up? How you doing? So, I mean, what do you guys think? I can never spell
NIE.
You
वो आ गया.
yeah, you just write it and yeah. So this is
So this mustache dude was actually a sweet little girl.
oh my god. But how can he be a sweet little girl if girl does not even exist?
The thing is, we can make anything of it.
There it is, boys. What do you guys think? It doesn't even matter what you think, bruh. Sexy like Mr. Wilson. That is true. That is true, Kevin. Man, our dimensions are fucking. Oh my god. Are you with me right now? Is there like a
Did we fuck him?
yeah? Did you get what is happening here? We just uncovered the truth, bruh. Right?
Lord the power. Akhtar lava.
Right? The universe isn't even real, bruh. Bruh, the universe has to be a thing in order to
Be a thing.
be a thing. But if it's not even a thing, then it's not even
A thing.
a thing. Only the idea. The universe is in your head, man. There is no fucking universe, bruh. Holy shit, man. It's all in your mind, right?
And that's what, would Zizek say.
Yeah, the universe is all in your. It's all in your head, man. Man, the government is man, the government is just. Wait, what the fuck is that? Okay. The government, man, I will say one thing. What I've learned through all this talk and experience is that it's the government, man. It is the government, right? Like, why do you free yourself, right? Free yourself. Mr. Wilson is going to be rich. All we have to do is to patent instructions about how to lean your tablet against a styrofoam coffee cup for natural amplification. I'll post a show. Yeah, you have not seen Choosy, right? You have to see Choosy in order to believe. Okay, this man
Is he real?
this man is the only person who's the owner of Mr. Wilson mug.
Oh.
The only owner, because I couldn't do the thing because there were like taxes and shit involved, so I couldn't. This man is in another dimension. Like the dimensional.
I like this man. You should convert to Islam and you should preach the word of God there. In the land of sodomy, you should be hope. You should be light.
Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, the Mr. Wilson mug. Amazing.
You're already a Muslim in the making.
Look at this.
Alright, I'm going cold. It's our new national anthem. We the peeps indicted.
You know, when I grow up,
Maritime law.
I want to be. I want to be him.
Are not confused or powerless. Exile the sovereign military order of Malta.
mods like
It's our protected civic duty
He talk about civic duty.
to ask for rescue from the military. Of government.
Are you a libertarian?
I don't know what he is. He believes in peaceful carnation revolution. Right? You have no idea. I have no idea what the peaceful.
You should convert to Islam. That's the only truth. That's the truth. That's the only truth.
What? Watch this, man. Look at this contraction.
Just a short to share something I've been using for years that works like a charm. Hang my guitar up and play. It's ready to play. All I gotta do is snap.
This is a new
press
dimension,
play.
man.
And you can still move quite a bit. As you can see in the videos at the bottom of my channel, I'm actually playing, but I wanted to just zoom in on what the bass looks like. All right, litter box, bucket. I don't even have a cat anymore. That's how old it is. All right, and then the metal uprights are horizontal overhead. Perhaps the adjustable ones. They're them so that that's it'll
There is
adjust.
a video of him playing it.
Just all you have to do is just slide it.
Oh my god, there is a video of him playing it. That is in another dimension. What is Tang MacGyver? Where are you?
Hey, what's up, yo? Just a quick one to review therapeutic soap note format of thinking therapeutically. Subjective and objective observation and measurement are followed by an assessment, and that's where you do your critical thinking. And assemble a problem list, and where everybody seems to be failing across the board in not only the MSM but the alternative media here on YouTube is they're shrugging their shoulders and rolling their eyes and saying things like, "Oh, a third party," or
That is correct. This man needs to be the next president of the USA. That is true.
But first you should convert to Islam.
What?
Then he can convert the whole nation.
fight will continue.
Wait, Mr. Wilson, wait. I've been tinkering around with various pieces of cardboard and plastic envelopes and containers and boxes. The whole time, the answer was in the styrofoam coffee.
The answer is Islam.
Continue the fight. Great. That's not a plan. And I just want to remind everyone about a good article online. It's called The Values of April, 45 Years Since Portugal Overthrew Fascism. It's a good article, and I would appreciate it if you have a look and share it around.
What's the article?
We need to discard our misguided
Repeat it.
fault.
Let's read the article.
Really?
Yes. Let's repeat it. See what was the name.
Need to discard our misguided false perceptions of powerlessness, and we need to do our misguided false perceptions of powerlessness, and we need to do our squeaky clean civic duty under constitutional protection given the circumstances.
Have you?
are urgent.
But your First Amendment is dying. Your First Amendment is dying.
Man.
Share those articles. Share those articles.
Yeah, shit.
I sent you.
Wait, are you Okay, so here's the thing. Sometimes what happens is when he's watching the video, he's not at the live spot. Like he's 10 minutes behind.
No, we'll just share
Yeah,
on the
share
screen
the articles. Yeah,
the articles.
he's a mark.
We will share the articles on
Yes.
that
The
Equality Act.
peaceful carnation revolution starts
And
here.
let's read his article.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. And
Oh, you can't even read his article, man.
No, let's read it.
He's in
It's
another
gonna be-
dimension, man. Like this is like, man.
You're a pure man. You were in search of truth.
Oh,
And now you have found the truth.
you have found the truth. Wait, what?
Yes.
Yeah, what is it?
And that is
Islam.
Islam. That there is no God except Allah, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the prophet of Allah.
All right. True. Okay.
But let's find the article.
Man, watch this, right?
That's choosy.
Yeah. It's the same person. Yaar, when I grow up now, I want to be this man. No worries in the world. And just, what the fuck were we even talking about?
Well, let's read his article.
But he's not gonna. He's like 15
He just
minutes.
told the name of the article.
Yeah, in the thing. But like in the chat, what he's gonna do is he's like 10 minutes behind.
Okay. But let's ask him what's the name of the article, or post the link.
Yeah. So whenever he posts it, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Should we discuss the articles on I shared with you on the Equality Act,
The Equality Act.
about the First Amendment that
Should be like right now and stuff.
not
I don't
necessarily.
know. I feel like the person who had like an argument against it and stuff, they're not here right now. So it's like, it'll be.
Okay, just post
Yeah.
the links
Yeah.
so that they read them.
The effects
Okay.
of global warming.
I'll post it in the Discord.
Are you aware that there are parts of the world which are already becoming non-inhabitable? Like, I have friends, I know people in some Arab countries, and they tell me, listen, the whole area south of Iraq, Emirates, and so on, they reach up to 55
Yeah, but
degrees
they-
Celsius
yeah.
every summer. And even for them who are born there, no, this is too much. Parts are non-inhabitable. On the other hand, who knows what is happening now in northern Siberia with
Well, okay, he's again talking his.
Nuclear catastrophe.
Let's-
Google is listening. So this has been suppressed now.
What?
This is like suppressed.
Why?
Like there's like a ad suitability thing on this, right? So whenever this happens, okay, I don't know what to do about it, right? Then it doesn't go out to other people.
Why has that happened?
I don't know. I don't get it. It's
COVID.
yeah, it could be the C word or like something like that. But like it's okay. It's okay. I mean, fuck it. I mean, we're not. Yeah. It's
is
okay.
releasing already.
Like this is so Google's fucking whole thing. It works on like YouTube's whole thing works on ads, right? So what happens is that's their business model, right? If someone clicks on this, there's an ad displayed, and if I get like if you get like $1 from the ad, I get 50 cents and YouTube gets from that. So what YouTube does is Content that it does not want to. So they don't censor the content in, like, deleting the content.
But they stop sponsoring it.
They stop sponsoring it. So then it doesn't. So they have no incentive to incentive to, like, sponsor it and stuff. And I have never gotten like how to fix this shit.
The air, more poisonous
Well, I
gases
think it's
than
the COVID
all
thing.
the cars
Yeah, it is
that
the
are
COVID
on the earth. But at the same time, new fertile areas and so on and so on. So, to
Yeah.
cut a long story short,
No, he's again talking that he's the favorite puppet dog of climatist globalists.
Yeah.
You know, there is a guy who has that long face.
Who are you talking about?
On YouTube, and I don't know, his name is he was on. He had invited Jordan Peterson for a talk.
The long faced guy. Who?
Some, I think perhaps he's an academic or something, or a Hollywood guy. Somebody, these American liberals.
Who are you talking about? I'll get you a link. See, now he's here, right? Get your link of the article is the values of
April
April
45.
45 years since Portugal overthrew fascism.
Let's read it.
Yeah. That's like the only peaceful revolution, and he just fucking talks about it everywhere, and nobody's. He has gotten to the truth, man. It's like when the aliens come and they're like, we need your leader, right? They're gonna be looking for him.
Choosy.
Yeah. They're gonna be looking for Choosy. And nobody in the world even knows about this shit. Okay, so.
Oh God, this is the time. But you know, the thing I was talking about. Choosy, please listen to this argument. When he's doing this globalist, climatist bullshit. The guy who was talking with Jordan Peterson in that video, I'll try to find that. He made an argument in favor of climatism, and the point is to see through the stupidity of that argument, and many people think like that. It's generally the most usual argument in the political globalism, which is implied inside the climatism debate. The argument was that are there any systems with non-local implications or with non-local modalities? Are there any system? There are many systems in physics. There are many systems, let's say, in a way, the way the value in economy works, it's kind of not local. How the value is synthesized, let's say, in a mathematical model of a general equilibrium, or let's say economy generally, that's usually a non-local phenomenon, even though it has local nodes of value, the local instances of prices and values, but still the value is a non-local phenomenon. Not yet. So he said, because climate is something which is non-local and therefore it's global, therefore it should be dealt with globally, with the argument these idiots like Zizek and keep expounding. Now look at the absurdity. Do you see the absurdity of this thing? When we're talking about the global, when we're talking about global solutions for a global problem, we are actually talking about the political global.
Oh.
Is the universal global the political global? The universal global is like, let's say you talk about the Milky Way.
Okay.
Or other galaxies.
Yeah.
Talk about the universe. Is the whole political Earth a global of the universe? No.
The whole.
If you have to talk about the cosmological, or let's say universal global in the physics, in the sense of physics or climate, then you should be talking about that global, which is not the political global.
Which is because, oh my god, so when you're talking about scientific phenomenon, you shouldn't be involving political shit into it.
The thing is, the Earth is the political global.
Yeah. And it's not the universe.
The global of the universe.
Global of the universe. Global of the universe is universal. Is universal constants. Gravitational constant.
Is much more than the political global. So much so that the political global is itself a local node in the system.
It is
a local node in the system.
Yeah.
So how do you like me now?
Oh my fucking god, man. I'm in another dimension, dude. Like fucking...
Let's read the article.
Let's read the article. Right. There it is.
Diana Ferreira, that's Choosy.
Yeah.
Choosy wrote it. Did you write it?
No, he didn't write it. He was talking about an article.
Okay. Well, it has a good, beautiful picture. People's World. Nice. Continuing the Daily Worker.
Yes, he's also agreeing with you. The poetic, yes, political global. Oh my god, he's saying it's poetic. The political
Mashallah.
is in direct
Mashallah.
contradiction with the cosmic law of cause and effect. It is against God with every lie that is told that we expect and are placed further away from God.
Choosy, let's read your article.
Right. Okay. Values. Wait.
Of April, 45 years since Portugal overthrew fascism. So 2019 was 45 years.
2019
was the 45 years.
Yeah.
Okay, this is after the war, after the Second World War.
Yeah.
April 25, 2019 marks the 45th anniversary since the April Revolution in Portugal, a mass democratic uprising which overthrew the fascist dictatorship that had ruled the country for nearly 5 decades. 5 decades, which means, okay, let's see, what are the dates? What started as a coup by anti-fascist army officers quickly morphed into a revolt of the whole Portuguese people. As she walked the streets of Lisbon that day, restaurant worker Celeste Queiro started placing red carnations into the barrels of soldiers' rifles and tanks. That's like histrionics. No, that's actually poetic. Giving the 25th of April its other name, Carnation Revolution. Beautiful, romantic, Napoleonic. Below is an excerpted speech delivered today in the Assembly of the Republic, the country's parliament, by Portuguese Communist Party member Diana Ferreira. Today we celebrate the 45th anniversary of the April Revolution, a unique moment in the history of our country, a moment of profound significance for what it overthrew and for what it built. And when we remember the alliance between the people and the MFA, Armed Forces Movement, when we remember the uprising that followed the MFA's action on that morning of April 25th, 1974, we do not forget, nor do we forget the dark years of the fascist dictatorship. What was the name of the dictator? Well, fascism in this country meant poverty, famine, illiteracy, disease. That sounds like communism, man. It imposed child labor. It subdued women. It was the sustaining power of half a dozen millionaire families. It corrupted the whole state. It censored and overwhelmed the people. It chased down and arrested anti-fascists. It built the concentration camp at Tarafa, the slow death camp. It tortured, it killed down. And it was April with its liberating action that put an end to this time of terror. It was April which brought time of hope and the strength to transform. Let us not forget this, and we have not forgotten the role of the Portuguese Communist Party in that time. Let us not forget the generations of communists, other Democrats and anti-fascists who courageously and selflessly faced the fascist dictatorship, even in the underground, even under the whip of censorship, repression, and torture, fought to overthrow it, often paying with their lives. Many did not live to see the 25th of April, but all of them were essential for April to happen. Because the 25th of April is not just a day, it is the culmination of dozens of years of struggle. It was the destination of a path cleared step by step by those who always believed that Portugal was not condemned to live gagged. Gagged means censored. That people would not be condemned to live crushed and oppressed by the fetters of fascism. April brought freedom, a freedom where free thought and opinion can live without any kind of censorship.
Okay.
A freedom where fundamental rights are enshrined in our Constitution, document emanating from the April Revolution that translates into its text the wishes and aspirations of a people wanted to be free and dared to fight for their freedom. By the way, did they have communism in Portugal after this revolution? No, they did not. Because wherever you have that, you have the same disease you were fighting. April is a freedom of expression, of assembly, of political and trade union organization. It's freedom of the press, free elections and voting rights, the end of colonial war. It is a national minimum wage, Christmas allowance, vacation entitlement, and paid vacation. It is the right to work and to dignity on the job with collective bargaining, prohibition of dismissals without just cause, equal pay, and the right to strike. It is the right to health, education, social protection, social security, to culture, knowledge, sport, and housing. The thing is, from the point of view that you're actually talking, it's very unmindful of how a free economy or an economy works or should work.
Yeah.
Because all of these aspirations you think which are noble, which you think to be noble, they actually produce the same kind of tyranny you said that the April Revolution fought against. Let's read further. It is a right to retirement, protection of maternity and paternity, child protection rights for youth. It is democratic local power. It is access to public services and fundamental goods. It is the defense of national peace, sovereignty, and independence. We speak of all this and much more when we talk about what the 25th of April meant for the Portuguese people. Many of those rights have been eroded or never guaranteed by right-wing governments in the years since April, putting in question the achievements of the revolution and the fulfillment of what is enshrined in the Constitution of the Portuguese Republic. So, you say it was, well, not replaced by a communist government. And, well, the thing is, the only problem is that the government they would have, the communists would have been economically unviable, and that leads to political zero sum. Let's say, in a comment, it leads to political zero sum, which always produces tyranny. Just as struggle was essential in the past to defeat fascism, today's struggle is indispensable to advance our rights and guarantee progress and social justice. Struggle. I mean, commies are really fond of struggle. I mean, you should try to struggle to find or to achieve something. You don't struggle to struggle. I mean, if you struggle to struggle,
Yeah.
that's like you struggling to struggle to struggle to struggle.
Yes, but
Which
we
is
can.
pointless. I mean, which is a singularity. In a country hit by more than 4 decades of right-wing politics, much has had to be done to defeat the plans of those who sought to perpetuate the policy of limiting rights, increasing exploitation, impoverishment. What do you mean, by the way, when you say right-wing governments? Are you a fascist government is a right-wing government? That's fine. That's understandable.
Yeah.
But usually, the new commies of this
Hello,
day
CM.
in the U.S. they think that even a free market economy and a political system with private property rights is a right-wing government. But that's if you think free market and
The
property
extreme
rights.
right wing that you.
I mean,
could
if
say,
you're
like-
talking about right-wing as a fascist state, then that's fine. It is fascist and it's unproductive economically too. But if you say free market is fascist, right to private property is fascist, then we strongly disagree.
I don't think they're talking about this.
Let's see. In a country hit by more than 4 decades of right-wing politics, we've read that it is necessary that's a grammatical mistake. It has been necessary to fight hard, but with the workers' struggle and the decisive action of the Portuguese Communist Party, this immediate objective has been achieved. Now, clearly translating the recovery of rights and income and in the many measures that allowed in this new phase of national political life, things such as salary increases, extraordinary increases in pensions, increases in the family allowance and other social benefits for textbooks for students up to 12th grade, a reduction in the tax burden of workers and impoverished, improved access to retirement payments for workers with long contributory careers or tough professions in quarries and mines. All the measures taken are certainly small steps considering the scale of the problem faced by the people and the country, but they are steps that should be valued for what they mean in life of Portuguese people, because they demonstrate that it's worth fighting. These victories confirm that there is nothing to do but move forward. The thing is, in order to move forward, even in those rights direction, you need your economy, your entrepreneurship, your economy to work, your businesses to grow, because that's how the wealth is created and distributed at the same time, and that raises the living standard.
Yeah.
And in order to struggle to presumably raise people's living standards, one should try to know that which measures actually increase living standards and which don't. Because the only way the world has discovered that living standards can be raised is free markets. Policy defending and enforcing workers' rights, prerequisite for but beyond defense, it is necessary to go further and move decisively towards a real alternative policy, committed to the values of April, toward a policy that responds to the structural problems of capitalism that affect the people and the country, not to go backwards. No, the communist policies are backward. These arguments, there is nothing that any old commie or new commie ever gives. Even the post-modern commies, the post-Marxist commies, every argument they make, they say is the new argument, but it's never the new argument.
Right.
It's an argument which has long been refuted, has long been implied in the modern synthesis, and anything they call new is actually demonstrably regressive, like the argument I showed by Zizek
All right.
in his book. Or, well, any economic argument that has been already implied, refuted, long ago. Policy of defending and enforcing workers' rights, a prerequisite for the development progress of a country, creating jobs with rights, valuing wages and pensions, strengthening social protection, policy of combating precariousness, unemployment, social inequalities, and ensuring a better and fairer distribution of wealth. Policy that defends the social rights of the people, strengthening, that's like, okay, next, do.
A policy that defends the...
Okay, let's read next. A policy to defend investment in national production and recovery strategic sector for our economy aimed at freeing the Portuguese economy from its structural dependency on and domination by monopoly groups. Now, monopoly is always facilitated by a government which was prompted by the people to serve the people in the tone of those rights, in the tune of those rights. And the government always ends up producing those monopolies, which are counterproductive for the market too. And they always make the little or the ordinary man more little. Policy affirming the sovereignty of people, sovereign right of Portugal to determine its path of development, rejecting the interference and impositions of the European Union. Well, the European Union exactly enforces those rights, those socialist rights, or welfare statist rights, which which this article is actually advocating. A policy that defends the right of peoples to self-determine its sovereignty, to oppose militarism in favor of international cooperation, peace, and disarmament. April Revolution is... Yes, it always does. It always does. It always relies on deception. There have been many moments across these past 45 years that have demonstrated it is only by struggle that we can advance, that the struggle of the workers and the people is essential for social transformation. April belongs to the people. It was your strength that built it. It will be your strength that will consolidate it. The future of Portugal will be built with the values of April, a freer, more democratic, more developed, fairer, and more unified Portugal. We do not give up dreaming, nor give up on struggling to turn dreams into life. The doors that April opened, no one else will ever close. Well, for that you need to guard against the commies.
Damn, man, I don't even get it. I agree that the fascism isn't left or right phenomena exclusively. In fact, that it is through induction of entire political circle which prevents any hope of political solution. right? For instance, the US Congress was calculated to be percent Jesuit alumni. What is the Jesuit alumni compared to the general population? That's thoroughly inducted politics.
Jesuit alumni mean elite.
Ah.
Hmm.
What do you think about that?
I've explained all along.
That let's go. I understood it all. Fucking, I understood it all. It's like the same fucking arguments about like free market is not fascism. Okay, like that is the entirety of the whole argument. Free market is not fascism.
I mean, my argument. Yes.
Yeah, your argument is like free market. You brought a special guest to help read the news. No, bruh, to fucking. He is the news, right? This is. Alright, so should we return back?
Imagine
It is easy. Oh my god, what the fuck were we even talking about? Right, okay, let's go. There shouldn't be dead air. Which is,
an authentic fascism can come out only out of Russia. And here I see what Putin is doing not as some kind of irrationality, but he explicitly refers to the Russian imperial tradition, to the spheres of influence, and so on, and simply denies the right of a nation to exist. As was this NATO expansion and so on. Look, I'm part of this polemics. All I can tell you is this. I see it almost in the opposite way. Namely, in the sense that, look, even in Slovenia, not to mention countries like Bulgaria and so on, Baltic countries, they are scared like shit. They are terribly afraid. And when people oppose NATO, I say also, but I say, okay, but Russia is a threat, not an implicit threat. They openly are claiming this is also our part of influence. They are scared. Offer them another option for safety. So to go back to your question,
yeah, but I want to know what's happened to the anti-war left. I mean, this feels like a movement that has just disappeared, and
That's a
how
good
will we
question.
get it back after the war in Ukraine if we have given in to the likes of NATO? I mean, how do we resuscitate that?
When Russia started this war,
yeah.
the same Jürgen Habermas I was talking about, he wrote a very emotional and, well, kind of stupid essay in some big newspaper in Germany.
Yeah. What was the essay about?
She asked that what happened to the anti-war left? Why is the
war? Yeah, why is the
left advocating?
That is
for
one of the
NATO?
core principles.
Yes.
Right?
Why is the left standing behind NATO now?
Yeah.
So that NATO supports Ukraine and fights Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, suddenly, when everything is so indeterminate and everything is so postmodern, one can say, how is this plain and obvious that Russia is wrong, or what Russia did is something which, by the way, let's go factually a little. He kept his army standing on the border of Ukraine for one complete month in the winter.
Yeah.
That was February, yes.
Yeah.
And warning NATO
Yeah.
and Ukraine not to become part of the NATO, which is explicitly an anti-Russia alliance.
Yeah. But like, it's a bullying tactic. If you become a part of the NATO,
Wilson's guest is Kishore.
nah, no, it's not Kishore. That's like Kishore Chadha is K to the C. His name is not Kishore Chadha. No. So that's a bullying tactic, man. Don't join the NATO.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'll fucking destroy
Yes,
your country.
Russia conveyed its concern. You know what Russia spoke? Russia spoke a language that was real and that turned everything into reality. Like these people now condemning Russia for being violent because they certainly, if anything, they know that violence, how is violence wrong? How do they know that? When nothing can be known, when even human dignity can be questioned.
I mean, they can't even criticize the actions of Russia or the NATO as well.
I mean, Russia spoke a language that was real and they didn't understand it. Russia said, I have reservations
Yeah.
by my country abutting a country like Ukraine directly, which is going to be part of the NATO. I cannot live with that.
Didn't that happen after he started doing the shit?
No. He kept warning. He kept his army on the border for 1 month and did not invade.
But that's like a lingering shit, man. That's weird.
He warned that don't do it. That
So
I
what would have stopped, right? Now here's the thing. Here's what I feel.
if the NATO would stop making Ukraine its part.
Okay. So what were the conditions given by him? Okay. That, if you follow this, I will take my army off the border. It's not
guarantees.
guarantees.
And they were not given. In fact, the whole West made fool out of that idiot president Zelensky, that professional joker. They actually goaded him towards opposing Russia in its demands and going for the NATO.
But the thing is, it's a sovereign country, Ukraine,
Well,
right?
sovereignty.
They don't want to get fucking bullied by you. It's their decision. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Like,
The
why
thing
do you have to tell them?
There was
what to
an
do?
option. There was an option. Either you can
Yeah,
exist as a sovereign nation
yeah.
in peace by giving the guarantees that you're not joining NATO, or if you do that, you pose a direct threat to me, which I am plainly stating
Yeah.
that if it happens, I'll invade or do whatever I can. Putin was as clear as anything. So,
I think
now these puppets,
Okay,
these
here's
idiots
what I
say
think.
that it
Here's-
was an unprovoked war. No, it was a provoked war.
here's what I think. I think this was just an excuse.
No, it was not an excuse. It was
How
not
do
an
you know
excuse.
that?
Look.
How do you know that?
Look.
Yeah.
If Russia would still not stop,
Yeah.
if Russia would still not stop, it would have called out Russia.
If
Russia
Hmm.
would still invade
yeah.
after the guarantees. Then obviously Russia was a plain aggressor. then it would have called out Russia.
So what you do is
It would have blown the gap.
So
to Russia.
here's how you do this, right? You make
Now-
the guarantees very weird that no one can agree
No,
to them.
they were not
Okay.
weird. They were not weird. They were practical. They were. I mean, there is always this regional influence thing. There was Monroe Doctrine that no other great power can make can make its military presence in countries of South America.
Now, for example,
The Monroe Doctrine is that America prohibits any great power from having a military base in South America
now
because the US defines
let's
it as
flip the script,
region of
right?
its influence.
What if the US, right? What if the US goes to Ukraine, right? They're like, our border, our like shit is at the border and stuff, right? Do not join NATO, right? Because there's like a threat to us.
No, the thing is, the Russia is there, the Ukraine is there. The countries don't move. They are there and they perceive. I mean, why aren't we Pakistanis or the state of Pakistan? Why is it not threatened by Argentina?
What I'm trying to say is, if this gets allowed, okay, here's like, okay, I'd say, let's say devil then. If this is allowed, that another country can tell this country that, dude,
That's what America does. That's what Monroe Doctrine is.
it's weird.
No, but it is accepted as an acceptable policy. It has been for.
It is
when
not.
It was 1802. It was the year 1802 when Monroe Doctrine was given, and it has been enforced. It has been enforced ever since.
True. Gingers are either 2 or 10. Wait, what the fuck? We're talking the shit. Now, here's what I think. I am against the war. Okay.
So were they.
I don't think that there should have been war, right? But at what is the actual point? Like, what is the actual ceiling after which there will be war?
Well, obviously an aggression, but not an unprovoked aggression. Russia warned the whole world that if this happens,
Who is doing the provoking here?
Ukraine and the NATO and the US.
Well, I honestly,
Because let me tell you something. Suppose this is the line. This is the line
yeah,
which defines the border between Ukraine and Russia.
okay,
Let's say you launch an attack
yeah,
10 feet on this side of the border.
okay,
You launch an attack from, let's suppose it's a NATO attack on Russia. Does it matter if the attack is launched 10 feet on this side or that side on Russia?
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's why Russia wants a whole country as a buffer between NATO and Russia. It was an understandable. It was understandable reason, and he made it plainly understandable. Putin is the man who makes sense.
What I don't.
Not these puppets.
What I don't like about this whole situation is, okay, now everybody is like pumping, money, so much money into Ukraine, right? This war, like giving Ukraine so much money and stuff, okay, not not to they're not having any peace talks and shit, right? Like it's just pumping more and more money. So if Putin gets fucking annoyed by it, right? It's coming to the point where he can use like, you know, like fucking atomic.
It can reach
Bomb and shit.
anything. It can possibly be. I mean, the fuel
I think-
prices, the fuel price hike we are facing in this country, that is because of the Russian war. The whole West is crumbling under inflation, especially the fuel inflation, and that's because of this war, which was a very, very unnecessary war.
Yeah, and it's been hard on everyone, the whole world's economy as well.
Yes, the whole world's economy.
The
is
whole
suffering.
world's economy is suffering. So why are people still pushing for this?
Because this people like these, they hire these puppets, and like Zizek and many others, and there is propaganda TV, 24 hours.
If you're talking about like the sovereignty of this one country and stuff, and your own country is like fucking feeling the effects of trying to support that war, okay, then why aren't you just not pulling back
Because
and
it's-
letting
it's-
Ukraine?
people buy
Who-
into the narrative.
It was Ukraine's decision to not adhere to whatever Putin was saying, so they should be able to defend themselves.
Well, they are then, however they can. I mean, the result is there is war. And there was a clear way not to have this war, which the West refused to have. So now they're having the war.
I kind of get it. I kind of get
They're
it.
having the war they bought into.
I kind of get it, but at the same time, I would say that Putin is a crazy person here as well.
No. He's a holy
Putin
man.
is the crazy person as well, and I would say NATO is
NATO is a sodomist
crazy.
evil.
Is oh my god, right? Okay, like they're both in the wrong here, right? They're not looking for like a peaceful solution or anything, right? Putin is also not
these
looking for like a
times-
peace. Putin is also not looking for a peaceful solution here.
He is.
He's not.
Well, when you're in a war, then what do you expect?
Oh my god, what the fuck, man? Everything is fair in love and war. Oh my god, man, that is the most Kantian thing you've ever said.
No, that's not a Kantian thing.
One of the mailing companies have a sheet of failed deliveries. One of the check boxes for reasons is simply Russia. Yeah, man. The whole fucking nation is going in a disarray, man. What do we do here, man? What can we do? Absolutely nothing.
Now, she asked, what happened to the anti-war left? Why
Yeah.
is all the left supporting NATO's war now?
Yeah. And what's his answer? Let's
Really evil, don't be mad. I think that, pacifism is not always a virtue. In what sense? Remember, for
Okay.
example,
Now he says pacifism
is not
always
a virtue.
That's what conservatives have always been telling you, you idiots. That pacifism is stupid. How do you come to know that? I mean, did Biden tell you?
all
Biden can't even tell what is.
who occupy a country are always sincerely pacifist. I totally believe the state of Israel that they want the peace on the West Bank, because peace means they can swallow it in peace. It's the same with Russia today. They sincerely want peace in Ukraine, but peace means for them, let's occupy it. So I will now give you, and I want to
Okay.
see.
That is the
By
thing.
the way,
Peace
by
means
the way-
from them is to occupy it.
No, but that's always the argument. I mean, nobody wages an unnecessary war. Nobody ever wages something like a war unnecessarily. It is always done because there is no peaceful solution to what they want to have.
So this is not a peaceful. So how is Russia giving like a peaceful solution if there is no peaceful
No,
solution?
I'm just saying that what Russia is having
Yeah.
is a necessary war.
Okay.
In a way, comparatively,
For them.
comparatively, it is Ukraine, because of the West, it is Ukraine who is having an unnecessary war. They could have simply avoided this war.
But who's to say that the intentions were? I mean,
Look,
like this.
if Russia would still invade,
Yeah.
then Russia would have been debunked. The whole.
But you didn't even give them a chance.
He did.
To not.
He did.
Nah,
he has been saying this.
I'm talking about
Do
Ukraine.
you know how long has the Russian side been saying this, that you don't become part of the NATO? How long?
I don't know.
It's been, I think, some 7 years.
Okay. It's very understandable. Alright, watch this. I gotta drink some water.
Here
You want some
we
water?
come.
You want some water?
You will answer to this. Do you know that in 1940, when the World War II was declared, and there was a strong tendency of the leftists in United States, in the West, claiming this is an imperialist war, it doesn't concern us, we should stay out of it. Okay, in this sense, you know that Germany spent millions supporting pacifism in the United States. So I think I accept this paradox that, okay, when you say anti-war pacifism and so on, what is your message to Ukrainians then?
I suppose my question here is this a proper comparison between 40s Germany and present day Ukraine? Are we looking at a situation where Putin sweeps across Europe to take other countries in the way that Hitler did in the 1940s? Is that really what we're looking at here?
Of course, Putin is not Hitler directly, but if you read their plans, statements, and so on, it's clear, maybe I'm too crazy here, it's clear that the war is not really about a small piece of Ukraine. I'm deeply deeply opposed to this view. Let's make a deal. Let Putin swallow a part of southeastern Ukraine and we have peace. But they are saying it again and again. Lavrov, their foreign minister, do you know that he at some point even said openly, when they asked him, okay, where is the limit? He openly said, basically, except maybe United Kingdom, all of Europe should be neutralized. Even only then will Russia be safe and so on. So no.
See. Even in this exaggeration, what Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, said was, we want to neutralize Europe against Russia, which is to say that NATO poses a threat to Russia, in the presence of which threat we don't feel safe. What could be... Now, let's talk about Ukraine. Is it... would it have been better to Russia assure of safety?
Yeah.
to assure Russia of safety with NATO in Ukraine or without NATO in Ukraine.
Without.
But that was the whole point.
Here's the thing, but that's what he's saying. Where is the limit?
That was
Now-
the limit. That was the limit. Look,
Now-
it defines the limit.
If you're
You
then,
want to minimize threats to your country.
then it's is there a
You-
threat?
you
now
want
that is
to-
the question. The real
Yes,
question is,
I mean
there a threat?
a hostile alliance, which is fundamentally and basically an anti-Russia alliance. It was actually an anti-Soviet alliance. The NATO was an anti-Soviet. When Soviet Union ended in 1991,
Yeah.
then NATO should have been disbanded. But it was not. Then they tried to integrate Russia inside the NATO. But the way they were treating Russia, Russia didn't like it. Then they again turned NATO into an anti-Russia alliance. Now, how would you feel that your immediate neighbor, which is like your border, is home to an explicitly anti-Russia
What does the NATO
alliance?
What does the NATO do?
NATO is a military alliance.
Yeah, but like what is their what are their goals, objective, and like what is the thing, and what do like why do we need this alliance?
It's basically a military alliance for maintaining peace for its members, which is the European countries and the US and Canada
Yeah.
and such. And I think is Japan part of the NATO? Perhaps it is. And Turkey is part of the NATO. Japan is part of the NATO. South Korea is part of the NATO. I think even Australia and New Zealand, I'm not sure about Australia and New Zealand. So, for the face value,
Yeah.
it's a defensive alliance.
Okay.
But the thing is, nobody knows when you change your mind. So you gotta see the capabilities, not the intent, which can always
So
change.
if you think of it, NATO is sort of like a few.
So America is protecting itself
Yeah.
on another continent by having a military alliance in Europe. But Russia cannot protect itself from its immediate neighbors. That's the
Why doesn't
contradiction.
Russia join the NATO?
Why didn't?
Why doesn't Russia join the NATO?
They invited Russia after
Yeah.
the collapse of
And
the Soviet
so
Union.
why did they? That was like a solution as well.
They invited Russia, but on the terms they were actually trying to humiliate Russia.
So
The terms were they were trying to humiliate Russia, so Russia refused. And
it's
then
the-
in the year 2000, Putin became president.
So it's the same thing here. The terms given by them are trying to humiliate Ukraine.
No, the thing is, Russia was not Ukraine. Russia is still the most formidable nuclear power. It can undo all of the West, potentially, theoretically.
So it's like the little guy, Russia, right? They're like
No,
we can.
it's not the little guy.
Russia is not the little guy because they've allied with the NATO and stuff. It's not the little guy anymore.
Yes. But they wanted to make it into a little guy. They wanted to humiliate it.
But they didn't want to. They didn't want to be the little guy. Of course, that is.
It doesn't apply to Ukraine because Ukraine is already like it's a sandwiched. It's sandwiched between big European alliance and Russia. So it had to, realizing its strategic limitations,
Yeah.
it would have been advisable
The
for
Pope's. NATO is the Pope's army that never should have been, compared to the Swiss Guard, which is all they were supposed to have. Hmm. Yes, yeah, I am here. Hello. I am Mr. Wilson. Hmm.
I think it's the same with Hitler because as
Time
Hitler,
control, yeah.
because
Time, I think it's 2 hours and 15 minutes.
with Hitler it was clear. It wasn't enough to stop Hitler. He had to be destroyed. But I think that here, because there's, you know what, when I'm in panic now, I don't know if it was reported in your newspapers, but 2
Yona!
days ago, when some small disorders happened in the north of Kosovo,
Yona is our
Where there
Cherokee
is a-
friend.
some-
Yona, you wanna join the call?
already they started to talk. Some Russian media and some guys in the Serb parliament that the time is also approaching to denazify
What the
Kosovo.
fuck does that mean?
Then,
Discord.
already in Republika Srpska in Bosnia
Let's go, Eduardo.
and so on and so on.
Actually, Zelensky said the war won't stop till they get Crimea. What the fuck is that? Is that like a part?
Yes,
of
Crimea,
yeah.
Russia invaded.
Yeah. All the
in
Ukrainian
2014.
territory back, so it's going to end really bad. Yeah, it is true.
Hey, fine.
Yeah,
So,
Discord. You wanna get in the Discord call? Yona.
so worrying.
Yona
is
has
that
some really Yona-esque perspectives, right?
Russia is making it
on stuff.
more and more clear that it's not just about Ukraine, it's about the geopolitical sphere of
Ukraine?
influence.
But
They
you are a specialist in propaganda. I mean, you must appreciate that to propagandize well, you have to make something feel global, feel universal. It cannot just simply be a matter of Russia. They have to, at the very least, convince Russians that this is a matter of the world. That's an old propaganda trick, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you look closely at, is this just propaganda trick? Look what they already did in Russia.
We will
George.
talk about this,
Look
right?
how
But I have to
it
show you something, right? This is. I have to show you this, right? This is.
Let's see, Lila. Is that microphone plugged in? Yeah.
Do you still have the?
Let's
flower
go!
boy? Where is it? I don't see it. Wait, what happened? To the.
Oh, there it is.
Wait,
Is
Yona,
this
where did the thing go? The
Okay.
send the link to the thing. Here, I'll make you mod. Right, just send the link to the.
Oh, yes, because YouTube deleted my 18-year-old YouTube channel. That's what happened.
Oh man, he made like.
So I had to make a new channel.
Good, popular.
No. He made a song about Lahore. Right. Yeah. He made a
Oh,
song
yes,
about
yes.
Lahore.
I need
And
to re-upload that song, Wilson.
I don't know where it is.
Wilson,
Yeah.
let me see. Can you hear me?
Is it on this channel?
Is my microphone working?
Well, just send it over, right?
In with Crimea and so on.
Okay,
and so on.
okay.
And so I.
Oh, Yona is in the call.
that-
Wait, Yona is in the call.
Yeah. Yeah, I made that song called Flowerhead,
Especially did
and it
this
has
for
video
the-
of Lahore.
For the call. Wait, Yona, I can't hear you. I gotta fix some things here.
Okay,
It's not just.
let me see here.
Jesus.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Very good then. Let's see. Open link in new tab. All righty then. Jolly good show.
Just a propaganda trick
Will be
where
just
they
fine.
really want just that part. Just
Let me go over here
a way
to
to get
upload
southern Ukraine. Maybe this will be too cheap a
And I got
paradox for you.
three
But I would have said
different
that
songs with Mr.
paradoxically,
Wilson that have to be uploaded.
The only
There's two versions
way
of Flowerhead, one with just
prevent
me, one with me
a much
and
larger
Wilson,
war is
and
to
then
set up certain
tap that
limits.
go
To say,
booty pie.
You know,
There's
we
that
are
one
all
too.
the time too obsessed with, oh my God, if we give these guns to Ukraine, is this too much? Will Putin
Okay.
be mad and so on, be angry, explode?
Flowerhead.
When we say Putin it might explode, we might say the whole world could explode if he explodes. Isn't that a
Work or do something.
fair thing to
They
be
are, but
afraid of?
Russians are consciously playing.
Hello? Yona, can you hear me?
Okay. Hello? Testing. Smoke more weeds.
Can you hear him?
Okay, I can hear you. Aapka parivar kaisa hai? Mera naam Yona hai.
एक सेकंड दिखा
Assalamu alaikum.
Say something now, Yona. Yeah.
Okay, come
with
down
this
yakit
fear.
na hai.
You know, now I will tell you something else which may interest you.
Main urdu
My
sikh
sources
raha hun.
are not Western media. I don't trust them.
Main
But
urdu
now-
sikh raha hun.
Who knows what really
Oh, don't
happened
Mera
press it.
naam
in
Yona.
Ukraine?
Now you can hear
There
it.
are many honest.
Yona hai.
Yeah. Yona, you wanna turn on the camera and everything?
Ah, assalamu alaikum.
Let's do like a podcast Yona
Okay,
style.
yes.
Uh,
Okay.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Let's see. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Inshallah.
Are you converting to Islam?
Allah.
He just likes to
Uh,
know
I
about a lot of.
am a linguist. I study many different languages, and so, you know, in addition to Cherokee English, French, Spanish, Italian, German, and the like, also I learned درست اللغة العربية في ولاية كاليفورنيا when I junior الجيش الأمريكي. I was a soldier when I learned Arabic language in the state of California. You see.
Lovely, beautiful. Even I don't know Arabic. I mean,
Yeah. وهذا اللغة العربية. And of course, you know, in Pakistan, the Urdu is written with the Persian script.
Persian
you know,
script,
the
Persian
Haruf al-Arabi. Yeah. Just the same as Persian, you know. Khoshamadid bashna ashna shadan.
Yona, turn on the cam and everything.
Khushamdi.
Turn on the cam and everything. Let's do like a podcast Yona style. Yeah.
All right. Get that up there. Hopefully it doesn't affect the bandwidth. See, they deleted that, so right now I'm actually re-uploading
Oh, they deleted the
Flowerhead.
channel?
my
Oh, damn.
18-year-old YouTube channel was deleted because they don't like my free speech, I guess. I don't know. So I made a new one, and I have other platform channels, so I've been going here, there, and elsewhere to archive and put it, because, you know, fortunately, I have hard copies on my detachable hard drive here, so, you know, they deleted it from
Yo!
YouTube, so it's...
Did you were you posted in Iraq? Were you posted in Iraq?
Yeah. Yeah.
What city?
1993, 1994, yeah. في العراق, Medina Fallujah, Medina Basra. I never went to Baghdad. I was just in the south near Kuwait. Yeah.
So how was it? Did you like being there?
Oh.
I mean, the years.
Well, you see, of course, they took it from their perspective. that I'm just some simple tribal peon, pleb, taken from the mountains, and they're training me, and I'm just study them and learn
Do
from
you
them.
have Native American blood?
Are you doing less book?
Yeah, I'm Cherokee, you see. But in fact, for 2.5 years, actually, the whole time I was studying them.
They were studying you.
This is the Yona. Yo, let's spoke. You wanna join the call as well? Just get in the Discord call and let's just have like a fucking thing together and shit.
I mean,
Man, he's in another dimension, man.
he's a rock star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to show you, I am like a lion with a mane. Very, very tribal.
There it is.
Beautiful.
Hey,
Yeah.
Yo, so this is Let's Spook.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
I'm going to take it
he
to
was
the...
talking about your the thing that you guys were disagreeing on the whole the matter of the
He's wearing it.
yeah
Brilliant.
yeah he is.
What was that tune of that film?
Oh, I've got to finish uploading this video for your good friend with the footage of Lahore.
Have you been to
I want to come visit,
He's not
but
been yeah.
Wilson's so inhospitable.
I am not inhospitable. What the fuck? If you wanna come here, you can come here. What the fuck, bro?
Come.
Yona, do you have one of those?
I have a spare
Yona.
car. I have a spare room. You can come.
Yeah. So this is Let's
Alhamdulillah.
Spook, right? Let's Spook, you wanna turn on the cam if you want? Like, I don't know. Let's just have like
I've got my laptop set up right now, so my cam would look pretty weird.
Alright, okay. So this is Lispook, right? His real name is I don't know. Right? This is Yona, and this is us. Right? Okay, yeah. So
Yona, are you a Democrat or a Republican?
Yona's in another dimension.
I'm sorry. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, either of those two.
So
Democrat and Republican parties in the United States. Yes, I was actually raised Democrat, and I was well indoctrinated. Both my parents are professionals, both in engineers, and I myself am a licensed professional engineer. So, and I went to Democratic conventions and all that. I held political surveyor of the county, going out with my transit and measuring off the hectares and the whatnot, making the plat maps and embossing the blueprints and drafting the documents and such and the like. But once I got out of the military, I really, it's been just further and further disappointment coming to the realization that American politics is much like American wrestling with Hulk Hogan and such. I suppose it's true, but at the end of the day, it's nothing but a bit who and tomfoolery, as the Brits would say.
So I mean, you sounds like you subscribe to Edward Snowden's narrative on things generally about global militarism and the dishonesty that's structured inside the security deep state.
Free Julian Assange.
It's precisely different. You see, there is such a persistent corruption to the core at the top. And we see this corruption whether you're talking about George Herbert Walker Bush, who was former head of the Central Intelligence Agency, which is the lead, the deep state in the United States and worldwide. Same thing with the current leader of the Russian Federation, Vladimirovich Putin, who was in the KGB, a career intelligence officer. You know, you see the same thing.
Hey, what happened? You're
India, with their very hyper-militaristic stance, they continue to maintain, in particularly in the violations with Kashmir not allowing the referendum vote, and the continued crackdown on communications and the militarization generally from Jammu all the way to Srinagar, and then again the cockfighting between the Indians and the Chinese over there. On the top of their Tibetan border, and yeah, I'm sure all you guys are well aware of this.
Yes, I mean, well, of course.
It's rather
I am
juvenile,
not,
I should
to be
find.
honest. I have no idea what the fuck is going on and shit, like about the whole Kashmir situation and stuff. And
Well, he's right, but you know, I mean, at a practical level, our military, Pakistani military, has given up on Kashmir for all practical purposes.
Yeah.
And
Well,
most of
well,
all,
they fairly partitioned Kashmir, and they're protecting what part of Kashmir they are able to protect within their own border. But there's
Yes,
not much
yes.
they can do beyond then. And of course, I'm leaving the big elephant out of the room that's standing in the corner at us, and that, of course, is very soon the rail works will be completed on the standard gauge line extension from Jammu to Srinagar, and with Indian Railways then being able to provide service deep into the Kashmir. Once the completion of the massive rail viaduct crossing River Chenab is complete, the tunnel workings are now complete already. The tracks are laid, so they're just waiting for the massive bridge to finish, and Jammu to Srinagar line will be open, and that will usher in a whole new level of authoritarianism for what remains of Kashmir.
they are
yo, wait, your camera died as well. Like-
they are replacing the population in Kashmir,
Okay.
and they are
Yeah.
planting more and more Hindus
Yep.
there, in especially the Kashmir area.
Hey, Pakistani professor, what's your
Okay,
what's your
okay.
view on like Hindu nationalism?
What's Hindu nationalism? It's kind of Hindus on a philosophical level. Hindus are trying to fight themselves, which is like they are trying to undo the, you can say, pantheistic pacifism that's embedded in the Indian, inside the Hindu ethos. So they have been seeing that it has weakened them against the invasions of Muslims, and it just subjugated them and made an irony of their religion, their religious concept of the Hindu state, or some, if you know the history of Ashoka and such. So after the RSS, that fundamentalist religious organization, this kind of Hindu fundamentalist reawakening, they are trying to inculcate a certain nationalistic violence in themselves in order to be more threatening to anyone who can envisage undoing a Hindu polity. So they're trying to redefine themselves by killing parts of themselves which they saw as philosophically self-defeating and self-effacing.
Dare I say, I believe all this buggering of nationalism and foolishness going on about clearly lies at the lap of the British Empire. because after all, they're the ones that went in with their, well, amongst some of their surveyors, the good Mr. Everest, who put his name upon the top of the Himalayan chain for Mount Everest, but he was just a British surveyor, and it was the British surveyors who created these maddening enclaves and enclaves and exclaves and drew up East Pakistan, which is now known as Bangladesh, and of course Pakistan and India, and then began, I'm saying this for the benefit of my friends who are not as knowledgeable of this long really innovation by the British Empire in taking a very multicultural subcontinent of the Ayurvedic tradition, of a philosophy and a civilization of so many millennia, and completely rearranging it and moving millions of people here and there and yonder thanks to the railway system. And for me, this Hindu nationalism, like with BJP and Narendra Modi, is merely an extension of the divide and conquer policy, because I think a more vibrant multicultural India and Pakistan is able to be more resilient against such oppression and authoritarianism by one sect, you know.
Actually, I'm probably going to disagree with you on this. Perhaps quite radically. This concept, this is usually the platitude which is sold in the West to to fit in the narrative of Western white man's patriarchal and industrialist and capitalistic kind of that narrative, that anti-capitalist, anti-racist, anti-white, anti-imperialist narrative. Actually, things are not that well, let's say, okay, for the lack of a better word, simple. Because India, I mean, as far as Hindus and the space for Hindu nationalism, for fundamentalism, as far as those things are concerned, the British were actually facile for them. It was the pre-British Muslim invasions, the Mughal Empire, and even though Mughal Empire itself was quite, in many instances, it was very inclusive towards Hindus. I mean, if you say time of Akbar the Great, and it was well redefining the Muslim polity in the time of Aurangzeb. That's like standard history. But the real challenge to Hindu identity, to Hindu polity, to Hindu, let's say, a Hindu existence, the real challenge was the Muslim invasions. And the British, in many ways, actually kind of mitigated that. So, and the Hindus were really eager to recognize this fact, and they were eager to act in a facile manner. That was because of the presence of the British there. But in a way, the British, if anything, it was for Muslims that it was, let's say, more redefining, that the whole Muslim elite was turned into a pariah and went out of, let's say, effectively out of the rule. And Hindus were eager to become part of the new, let's say, technology-oriented ethos of the West. And through that, they found some ways of asserting their nationalistic goals vis-a-vis, let's say now, Pakistan and the Muslims inside India, and vis-a-vis China, and with respect to the regional and global strategic imperatives. They have been able to technologically progress more and industrially become, I mean, something and an economy which can potentially rival China. And,
Yes,
and,
indeed.
and for that, and for strategic importance, they are allying more and more in nuclear capacity with the US. And of course, in the geopolitical alliances against China, with the US, with the European Union, with let's say Japan, with Australia. And it's been going really well for India, and it has created, actually, it has not only created the space for an assertive and let's say more future-driven Hindu nationalism. It has produced a Hindu nationalism that's now actually viable. Even Pakistan sees that.
Yeah. Now, I really appreciate the clarification, because although they call me an Indian in the United States, I'm in fact just a Native American. I've never been to India myself personally. So, for
Lovely.
that
It's
disclaimer,
the first ever Native American I'm speaking to, and it's lovely that it's such a glorious person like you. And what about what about that Pocahontas scandal about Elizabeth Warren? Is that such a thing? I mean, do people really manipulate these identities, and they try to make something political out of it?
In today's realpolitik, the Hollywood glamour of celebrity politics in the United States between the two parties, which are essentially the same. They're just, Democrats and Republicans are essentially left wing and right wing of the same war bird that drops bombs everywhere it flies. But, when it comes to this political dynamic, today it's not about substance or specific policy or anything of that nature. It's all very vague and about virtue signaling and trying to tie yourself to some particular hyphenated, disambiguated.
There is one thing that's happening. But, sorry to interrupt you. Actually, this is important because it will actually lead the discussion, and I really want your opinion on that. And that interruption is this. Recently, I have been reading into American politics and media and everything for over a decade now. Recently, I think more than 70% of GOP Facebook page, what you see is they post Bible verses. That's it. Even in the crucial midterm election days, what they were doing, they were posting verses from Bible, just man to man. This and what the Democrats were doing, or their the Facebook page, let's say, any official presence of the online presence of Democratic Party was, they support abortion, they support trans rights, they support LGBTQ, they support trans kids and such. Now this is something, to me, as a religious person, it's just in these seemingly anachronistic times for moral things to do, for moralizing. These were not supposed to be, as we used to foresee some 3 years back or 4 years back, that these were in any way going to be some moralizing times. Purely moralizing times. The GOP is posting Bible verses directly, that's it. And the which I call the evil of the sodomism and all, the Democratic Party is just making that into another. So it's like completely two
Alright.
opposed moralities, which are not to say that they are political and then moral. They are just getting morally political.
Wait,
mean,
I gotta.
It's a
That's
strange
been the
thing to
case
happen.
since like sorry, go ahead.
Wait, boys.
What?
I gotta
That's not a new
change the
phenomenon.
mic and everything because the signal is not coming out as clear. So
Okay.
just give me
I
one.
think, Listo, that is a new phenomenon, because
I
in
don't think it is.
such in such explicit terms.
Wait,
What?
Let me just change the. I have to change the mic because the signal is not coming out.
Okay.
Like on my end.
Well, you see,
Just to pause.
I
Just to
assume
pause.
when you talk about GOP, you're referring to GOP, as in GOP means GOP, Grand Old Party, the Republican Party, posting the biblical verses. And if you go back to the Christian Coalition led by Ralph Reed and the right, that was really an infiltration of the Republican Party in the late 1980s. At the same time, you had the third wave
or maybe
Democrats
लेकिन वो ठीक
like
है लेकिन ना
Hillary
वो
Clinton
signal
and
clear
others
नहीं आ रहा.
who and Elizabeth Warren, the fake Cherokee, they're the ones that infiltrated the Democratic Party and turned it into this
Can you hear them?
corporatized corruption
Can you
machine.
hear them?
And the Republican Party has been turned into a fake fundamentalist Christian political
Yes,
party.
yes,
And
fake
so
fundamental.
they're-
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Actually, this is fake fundamentalism. I mean, but the thing is, in the previous episode, we were talking about the moral value of hypocrisy. Actually, I've written a mathematical paper in it. That was just a way of proving this, let's say, a philosophical paradox. But the implication was the moral value of hypocrisy. It is, yes, a false Christian fundamentalism to oppose, to overshadow the virtues which the virtues of the, let's say, anti-religious virtues, purely directed anti-religious virtues, which is which the Democratic Party is trying to propagate. But morality perhaps is only possible as a hypocrisy. I mean, you can be ethical. You can be ethical economically. You can be ethical socially. You can be ethical in the manner you socialize. I mean,
Right.
you can be ethical politically. But morality, for a, let's say, a technical interpretation of it, is actually fundamentally Hippocratic. Because what can be a greater compliment than a hypocrisy? Suppose I say that as a hypocrisy, I say that I am a Muslim, or Islam is the best religion in the world. But I'm actually, in practice, not anywhere like close to what an ideal Muslim should be. Now, I think this is the greatest compliment. This is the sincerest compliment possible to any value. That this value is so sacred, so sacrosanct, so admirable, so divine, that I, a lowly human being, cannot just ever reach it. That it's so perfect, it's so good, and I mean, actually,
That's
way,
a rather ontological approach. I
Yes,
do
yes.
enjoy that ontological approach
Yes.
to it. And I will just say that if, let's substitute the religion of Islam for the religion of Christianity as pertains to this analogy about the American Republican Party.
Yes.
And let's say they were purporting themselves to be practicing Muslims and they're sending different quotes from Sharia and Al-Quran in their Facebook feeds And of course, then you find out they're going home and eating pork. Like they're completely fake, but not in a
That
good
too. Put on
critical
the
way.
ground immediately.
Bullshitting everyone. For example, if someone plays an azan, they don't know what it is. They're like, "Oh, pretty music." They don't know it's a call to prayer. Even. I mean, anyways, that's my example.
But still, you know, this signals in a let's say just a signaling theory. I mean, it just conveys the value of hypocrisy, the moral value of hypocrisy, that you actually in not instantiating it as a personal virtue, you are making it into a timeless greatest value. And that's what the Republican Party is doing in these times. And this is a strange kind of it just conveys that the whole ethos of the American polity, of the American society, is turning into a very moralizing dimension.
Well, you do have to take into account that most of the media that's put out in the United States now is for consumption of such a tiny fragment of the population, and virtually the entire lower castes in the American country here, at least the United States in particular, all of the lower castes are completely ignored in advertising, completely ignored in content, not featured in Hollywood. I mean, good for Christ's sake, they just did a homeless count in Los Angeles last night. 75,000 plus people sleeping on the street. And that's just in Los Angeles, over 10,000 in Sacramento. I mean, good Lord, there's probably 500,000 people homeless sleeping on sidewalks every night in the state of California.
Yeah, there's no room for me then. The hell?
What?
That's just one of 50 states. There's a homeless problem in all 50 states and territories. And it's not because of a lack of abundance. It's not because of scarcity. It's because of austerity. It takes more and more austerity, whether we're talking economic policy or how they deal with civil liberties, but austerity is really a way to enhance more prosperity for the lucky few.
Well, if you talk about the austerity of states like California and mainly the Democratic-run states, then what they're doing is they are just top-heavy, bureaucratic, big bureaucratic machines.
Yep.
Which are the diseases that they're.
Don't take off your pants, man.
So top-heavy that.
He's putting them on.
It's on
I have
screen.
3 layers of clothing because
His pants have already been off.
Alright.
mine is 10 Celsius outside. I have 3 layers of clothing.
Alright.
It's fucking freezing out
God,
there.
it's colder than it is here.
I mean, I've seen you without your pants.
I hate winters too.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, I put up your song Flowerhead.
Oh!
Let me put the link.
Yeah,
I
put the
reposted
link.
it.
Put the link.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let
this
me
whole
put the
thing
link
was.
to
I was gonna show you
YouTube
Flowerhead, the song
Let's
that he
watch
made
that.
for Lahore. Yeah.
Lovely. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I do.
See here.
Yeah. So,
that's
you're gonna you're here to
the-
stay, right? For like another 1 or 2 hours.
Fine.
Yeah.
I have to go to work, clock in 33 minutes, and it's about 20 kilometers from here, so it's about time for me to up and away, I'm afraid.
Ugh.
But
I
last
can't wait to
question.
have another conversation. What is your Fred's name there, Wilson? What is your Fred's name, good sir?
Mr.
My name is Mirza Adil.
Mirza Adil.
Mazari?
Mirza Adil.
Mirza Abil. Very good, very good. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Like this is the song that he made. Like beautiful.
Yeah, well, let me. I'll play you out live while I have just a few seconds left here, if I can remember that.
Oh
old song for you all.
Yes, yes.
Let's just do it live. Yeah. But like the video, man, like the fucking.
lovely. So we make a promise we'll compose lyrics to it.
Nah, the lyrics
Oh, yeah,
are there,
yeah.
man. The lyrics are there. Wait, you know, we're gonna listen to the actual thing.
See you, Jonas.
Sexiest man alive. Mr.
Yeah, because some lyrics are in Urdu, hey.
Hello, Pakistan.
Lovely.
Hello, Pakistan. This is the song. He fucking compiled Delhi Gate.
And Lahore is such a beautiful city. Oh my gosh.
Yes, it is.
Stunning. Just stunning beauty. And it's so well preserved. You know, it's well maintained. I can't say the same for other parts of Pakistan, but I certainly can for Lahore. You gentlemen know better than I. Aap kya kha raha hai? Aap kya raha hai? Friday night.
Oh, nice.
I guess 5 a.m. Greenwich time. Assalamu alaikum. Over there in Jodo Party. Jodo Party. Islamabad, Karachi, and Lahore. Assalamu alaikum. It'd be good to speak to English.
I was like so shocked by this. It made me have the love for my city that I never had. Yeah. So that's Yona. That's Yona, right? Like, Yona, what are you doing now?
And as soon as I get back from work, I will try to get that goat booty pie re-uploaded as quick as I can. Grab those furry thighs.
Yeah.
Can we tap? Can we tap goat booty pie?
Booty pie. Yes, we can. Right. Hey, let's get back to the conversation and everything that we were having. I don't know what was the conversation. I spaced out for a while when you guys started talking about like fucking.
We're getting into the fake fundamentalist Christian propaganda that the GOP continues to spout, and it's the same thing with the Democratic Party, with this fake embrace of trans, gay, just I don't know what type of fucking shit they're on, man, and it's almost seems to be the antithesis of Christian fundamentalism, just to provide more constant antagonism. And more
actually
of the public because they're wedge issues. No offense, but abortion's a wedge issue when you look at the massive state surveillance, the incarceration of the poor, the continued world bullying and invading and imperial, it's just, there's so many real issues going on with the impoverishment and wasting of national treasure, laundering all of these billions of dollars through Kyiv and Ukraine with more shameless warmongering to enrich the defense military industrial complex in the United States.
It was
to the
like
name.
a really
Let me be
inventive
specific.
war.
I'm speaking of Boeing and Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and General Electric and also Amazon and Microsoft, the largest military contractors to the U.S. Pentagon. So, the real issues, no offense, have little to do about whether or not homosexuals can receive official documentation for their marriage from the courthouse, or what they're teaching children in elementary school in the state of Florida, or abortion rights and the like. Those are wedge issues, though they may be morally outrageous to many, and I don't mean to diminuize it. In the grand scope of the American empire and the day-to-day living of Americans in this country, it bears very little relevance, really.
And that's exactly what I've been saying as well. Like it's not that relevant. Like an everyday person in the US, or like they don't even, this type of shit just exists on the internet. Like the whole
They're all
narrative
arguing about whether or not unborn people can live, whether these unborn people can enjoy their lives, whether these unborn people will have prosperity. And meanwhile, the vast majority of Americans, so many working themselves to death, living a very low standard of living, just as low as the standard of living, I would say, in much of Southeast Asia now. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised because it's so different from what Hollywood and CNN
Yes.
want to portray to the world. The reality is, the United States has a larger homeless population and a larger prison population per capita than any other country on planet Earth.
Exactly,
So the
that's
vast
right.
majority of people, their lives don't matter at all while they scream about red lives matter or black lives matter or these white people are doing that or these brown people are doing that. It's bollocks. It's a load of bollocks because in reality, most people's lives don't matter at all, and so they're arguing about the lives of the unborn. They don't care about the lives of the already born.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It's a bloody genocidal empire from the to the last word I'll say is from the Cherokee. You know, the American Empire and the British Empire have kind of come back together, but they took a separate approach to the Cherokee and many other tribes. The British would negotiate with the different tribes, much as they've done in India and Pakistan.
Yes.
They would negotiate, you know, and same with the Hindus. With the Hindus, you know, again, allowing them. And same with the British. We had sent 7 Cherokee chiefs twice, in 1685 and in 1715, both times to Buckingham Palace to meet with the British Crown. And we secured direct peace treaties between the Cherokee Nation and the British Crown. And it was not until July 4th, 1776, when the American colonists dissolved all treaties with their Declaration of Independence, that we then faced and have faced ever since constant genocidal policy from the United States government. That's the reality for Cherokee, for Lakota, for Navajo, for all tribes, man. You know, and so for us, it's a very different perspective.
So your people have still that lineage consciousness about.
Oh,
being a
absolutely.
Cherokee.
I know my clans. We have a written language. Cherokee is a written language over 3,000 years old.
Oh,
So
really?
we have all of our records that far predate our colonization. That's what distinguishes our tribe and history and culture
I
from
didn't
other
know
tribes,
that.
because we've always had this written language, which is a technology unto itself.
Yes, yes, it is.
We have the most pristine, preserved Native American culture in North America due to our written language. We have our ancestors to thank for that.
Right.
Weshadoligi, Tatak Stacey. I look forward to our next conversation.
Right.
Take care.
Hey, Miigwetchiona.
Allah Hafiz.
Miigwech. Miigwech, what does
Amenities,
Miigwech
much
mean?
Ma'a salama.
Assalamu
Wa alaikum salam.
Miigwech. Right. Okay. Wait, now okay, K to the C has joined as well. Yellow,
How are
can
you?
you hear? Can you
Yeah, I
hear?
can hear loud and clear, mate.
Well, K to the C is a UK Indian.
UK.
Yeah. And
yeah.
he prefers to be called Indian for some reason. I don't know.
That's nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't like this country, and I don't want to be identified as a person of this country, you know, because this country's already like gone down. So yeah. Besides the politics, how are you, Wilson?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? I was we were talking about like the Russian war and everything, and like the Ukraine, and like the, I don't know how things don't exist, only phenomena exist.
Yeah. Yeah, I could tell
Ree,
you
where
from
in the UK are you from?
Oh, it's just central Birmingham.
Oh, okay, cool.
Wait,
I was
wait,
in Kent for a while,
But
Kent.
they,
for
they
about
were
a year.
saying, they
Yeah,
were saying there was
Kent is
going
far
to
from
be
me. Go
some
on.
conflict, some tension between Hindus and Muslims there.
Um, Yeah, there was actually like a few temples actually got attacked here actually. So yeah.
So have the tensions calmed down?
Well, yeah. As far as the like there's a situation. Like we've not heard much about it. So like I think tensions have like calmed down a lot now.
Because there was a massive police presence we saw in the news around those areas and that helped. So
Yeah. So
that's good.
someone like tried. Yeah, someone tried like spreading this false statement that a mosque was attacked in Leicester, but Leicester police on ground confirmed no mosque was attacked.
And
Like when that
yes,
whole
yes, I've been to the UK. I've done a master's from there, and
oh
I
that's good.
yes,
Where did you study?
University of Westminster.
Westminster. Oh, okay, I see that. Yeah, that's a bit far from me actually.
So it was yes, central London, and I was studying financial economics.
Okay.
And I personally know that actually it's impossible to attack any religious place there. I mean, it's just not possible.
Well, I mean, it did start off. It did start off with like a celebration. Like the day India like beat Pakistan in a match. Like but like
Oh,
Yes,
obviously.
it was a match thing.
it was a match thing.
Yes, it started as a
What
match
the
thing.
fuck?
But
Yeah.
basically like
More soccer related than anything else, or
there
fucking
was
cricket
like
or whatever.
Yeah.
there was like basically like a group of Indians who were actually like celebrating, like India's victory, and
In
like
cricket.
there were
Hmm.
there were two Pakistani men who actually came over to that group and they snatched the Indian tricolour off the Indian men's hands, and obviously the like like the Indian guys who were celebrating, they weren't like very happy with that, and it led to like a really like a really serious like brawl.
Bro.
So it kind of started off from there, and then like the attacks on the temples happened. That got
Really?
really serious.
Did it happen? Were the temples attacked?
Yeah, they were. Because it's on video. One of like the groups, they were actually seen. They were seen like going onto the temple, and they were pulling the saffron flag off the gate.
Oh, so
Yeah,
that was
there's a
that
video.
was serious.
Yeah,
So it's cooled down now.
yeah, it's calmed down now.
But isn't it kind of weird that Muslims and Hindus, they can't live anywhere together?
But they live together in India. They do live together in India. Is this
Yeah.
where you find the space for such escalation? It kind of just reactionarily escalates one little thing after another, and then it becomes a big thing.
Yeah. I guess. Hmm.
Yeah, there's some serious Muslims in the UK.
Yes, yes, they are.
The diaspora in the UK, there's some serious dudes.
Yes,
They're,
the diaspora, because they are a kind of, it's like nostalgic and self-preservation kind of
like they like their enclave, like much more seriously than
No,
like
it's
Canadian and American Muslims have this sense of like cultural preservation and whatever, but in the UK it's like much more pronounced.
Every kind of diaspora goes
Yeah.
through this feeling of being a cornered community in a foreign land, and they become conservative and more conservative than they usually are.
Yeah, they become more conservative when they
In
go
order
to
to-
another country.
Yes, in order
Yeah,
to
yeah. It's just weird that in the UK they've been there so long and that's the case, whereas like in Canada and the U.S. Like there's newer Muslim populations, and it's just like
actually the what they feel is that if they don't do that, their next generations will become liberal, irreligious, and they will just become one with the general, you can say, general population. And this is not such a strong tendency in, let's say, Indians. They usually mingle up and they adopt the culture, they mix with the community. But Pakistanis or Muslims, they usually become reactionary.
yeah. Well, you know, I've seen isn't like a like there because there's quite a large like Punjabi community where I am.
Yes.
It's like one of the largest Punjabi communities outside of like Punjab.
Punjabi
So it's kind of like
you mean the Muslim Punjabi community or Sikh Punjabi community?
well, the Sikh Punjabi community specifically.
Are you from Canada?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. My uncle lives there. Actually, my mother these days in the U.S.
Oh, yeah. Where does your uncle live? About like what province?
Toronto.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. So then you know for sure, like there's a huge like Sikh
Yes.
population.
My uncle actually had once a partnership in a garage, a 50% partnership with the Sikh, and
Yeah.
actually there was a strange historical thing to it too. We are Mughals, and
Mhm.
and
They hit him with the hard
M.
so
the muggies. You know, my friends. So I have this. Sorry to cut your story off, but I have this group of friends. One like we were a group of friends, but one was a Hindu, one was Sikh, and then I'm Mughal, right? So we used to joke like, oh, you know, back in the old country, this wouldn't have been possible. This trio of like friends, like 50, 60, 70 years ago. And so that it was like a joke because you know it's not the case. Like you know, there's always exception, but it just was like a running joke. That's like there's no you know like a Muslim, a Sikh, and a Hindu walk into a bar, which is like literally like what the case is.
It's not. It's,
Except I would never go to a bar. That's haram. But
it's but of a joke.
but the
not a joke now.
Yeah, it's not a joke now. But it's what's interesting now is like there's more like there's been. So like not like I don't know statistically, but anecdotally in the news, there's more like tension between communities in Brampton, like different diasporas, and I'm not even talking about like Muslim versus Sikh strictly, but like even like inter-regional issues between groups that you'd be like, okay, well, like you know, back home they don't take it as seriously as you do here anymore.
Actually,
you know,
like,
or if they do,
always
it's done in the capital. It's done in like the capital P politics, right? Like it's done in the media and it's done in like large political parties, but at like the grassroots level, people aren't acting the way you act anymore in this country. But because that's what they see coming from back home in their media and like their like large P politics, they bring that energy here. It's really, really interesting to see. It's like this is actually funny now. Like the jokes we make of like, oh, like you know, like my people used to kill your people. Isn't that hilarious? Like we're like 4 generations later, we're like, you know, friends or whatever. Is like it's coming back as like a resurgence in that people are having these ethnic tensions.
Actually, what happens?
It's weird. It's very weird.
Usually, when they aggregate into a geographical community, then they become territorial. Yeah. Then suddenly, everyone is territorial. They protect their territory.
Yeah.
And this even in some modern city or modern country like and such a liberal country like Canada or the UK, and it's really it's interesting, and it's just full of the current of that community current which just engulfs individuals. I mean, strange. I mean, it reminds me of what Jordan Peterson usually talks about, that if any one of you, any one of us was living in the time of Nazi Germany, in Germany, were a German, there would have been a very low probability that we would not have been part of the
That's exactly
Nazi.
what I also say.
Yes.
Like people
so-
say if you go back to like if you have like a time machine, you go back and would you kill Hitler or something? Like I would be like really like what if I join his party?
Yes, I mean,
Like, you know-
probably.
Well,
Like, he
Wilson, I
goes
think
like,
that might be a
"Chillax."
problem for you specifically. Like, you're not Aryan. Like, they're not going to be like, oh, we love this guy.
Oh
Like,
my!
you're-
No, but like I'll have to join the party, man.
No,
like he's too.
No, we're assuming
Yeah.
that if we were, or any people living.
yeah. If we were part of that ethnically homogenous group
yes,
of like,
ethnically
Yeah.
homogenous group,
or
right?
even adjacent to it enough in like a capacity through like
Yes,
whatever
yes,
other social
like-
strata that we
like-
would.
Yeah.
Like,
I would-
let's say
I would-
something-
Yeah.
so any semi-Aryan thing or something.
I would fall
Yeah.
into the spell of his beautiful eyes, man. Hitler, man, and he's
What's
like
what's
great
ironic
oratory.
about like these what's ironic about these ethnic tensions or like ethnic tension between like even like very similar regional or ethnic groups or linguistic groups in Canada and like other pluralist countries in the West is like the vast majority of people in this country don't know the difference between me and like a Hindu or me and a Sikh. They have no conception of like this person is Muslim and Mughal and this is where they come from and this is their culture and this person is Sikh or this person is Hindu. They really don't. Like the average, Canadian Joe Blow has no concept, right? And
Yes,
so it's so funny to me that these ethnic minority groups are like ripping on each other in a way that's like, there's no like unity between like at the higher levels that I've worked at here where it's like sort of like helping you get a leg up in a professional capacity. There's an understanding that it's like, comically or put simply, like these white people don't actually know. They can't tell the difference between an Abdul and an Umar. Like they can't, or like an Abdul and a Harpreet. Like they don't know. They think this is the exact same thing,
Look,
right? And so
it reminds me-
their discrimination or their inherent like bias towards us is not like that refined.
Yes.
In the same way, our own bias and discrimination against each other is so refined and like well thought out.
In individual capacity, yes.
Yeah, in an individual capacity. Yeah.
I mean, when I was in the UK, there was a very difficult asset pricing course of my master's degree. It was derivatives, the most complex financial instruments, and when it was the coursework, which was like you can say it was the midterm of the module.
Okay.
There was an Israeli guy
Yeah. My God.
from Israel. He had one home in Moscow. he had one
My
home in
God.
he had one home in Moscow,
Yeah.
the other in Tel Aviv, Israel.
yeah.
Yes. He said that his family lives in the summer
Alright.
in Moscow
Yeah.
and in Tel Aviv in the winters.
Yeah.
So that at that time he was coming straight from Israel. Okay, he was my classmate,
Yeah.
course mate, and he came up to, because I usually asked very suave,
Oh
great
my God.
questions
Oh my God. Very
about-
Mughal questions.
about asset pricing especially in the complex instruments like
Oh.
derivatives.
Okay.
So he came and said that, man, I don't understand a word about it, and please help me. And he asked me my name, and when I said, okay, I asked him. He told me he's from Israel, and when I told him that I'm Pakistani Muslim
He
and
was
such,
like,
I was expecting.
yeah.
Strangely, I was expecting that he would he would shrink from the fact that he's a Pakistani, but he was cool. He was fun.
Yeah.
I said I'm Pakistani.
Yeah.
From Lahore,
Yeah.
and I'm here for. Is it cool, man? That's lovely.
Yeah. And it's the other way.
And I said no. I mean, do you understand? I'm a Pakistani and you're Israeli and such. You don't find anything awkward or unusual. We come from very strange backgrounds,
Yeah.
mutually. There's no, well, it's just lovely. It's fine.
Yeah.
I just please help me with this coursework. So
The problem
Actually-
is is the Pakistanis, right?
Actually,
They
yes,
care
yes.
more
I
about
agree
it.
with you on
Yeah.
that. The problem fundamentally is always Pakistani.
he
Shut
in a
the
way,
fuck up, man.
he was a
We can
very-
all agree.
I will sacrifice my life for Pakistan.
he
God, this
and another
Pakistanis, bro.
Pakistani guy,
Yeah.
he also requested me all. Then I knew that they don't know a word of it.
Yeah.
So I just told them, I'll put your names in it.
Yeah.
You just don't have to ask me about it again.
Right. Okay.
Let me do the work. Just
Yeah.
don't disturb me then.
Okay.
So
Because of course
I did the
he
whole
was an
thing.
Israeli.
No.
You would
No,
feel offended.
he didn't know the
Right. Okay.
concepts.
Okay. I'm just kidding.
So the people who don't actually can't help you with it, with your joint or group project,
Yeah.
they just become a nuisance. So the Pakistani guy and the Israeli guy told them that you just stay off of me.
Yeah.
Let me work.
Yeah.
So I'll put your names in the end.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was a strange experience. Yes, he didn't have that kind of communal or religious or biased or, well, let's say that Semitic kind of consciousness.
It's only with Pakistani and Indian people. I would say with Indian
but
it's
there
even
were- there were-
lesser than
There was a girl, Yojana. She was studying with me. She was from Mumbai.
Did you tap that?
No, she was from
No?
from Hyderabad, Deccan. She was in
Okay.
Hyderabad, Deccan, and then there was
Mirza?
another girl. Then there was another Indian girl who
Oh my god.
Was her name Lakshmi? We can call her Lakshmi.
She
that's fine.
was Muslim. She was Muslim. She was
Oh,
from
okay.
Gurgaon.
Amna.
And
Amna.
No,
Good girl. Yeah.
no.
Both Zada. First
you-
class. Acha
So
yaar.
and many other Indian guys, we used to work together, and it was fine. And but till that February, when that February 2019 attack by India, is the Indian here?
Yeah.
Indian,
yeah.
are you here?
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Yeah,
So when that happened, then that attack happened, and I came to know about it.
Oh, I remember.
I was
that.
there.
Yeah. You
I was
you were
there,
there, right? Oh, I remember you were there when this shit happened. Yeah.
So Yojana and another course mate, that guy whose name I think was Vasu.
All right.
Vasu. Or they were telling, there was a German class fellow, what was his name? Sebastian.
Right.
They were telling him in such a voice and manner that they were trying to tell me to, but
Yeah.
not addressing me directly, that we have just did a surgery. We just did a surgery in Pakistan just to teach a little good lesson and such. And after a couple of days, when Pakistan responded and they caught the Indian pilot and such thing, then it suddenly, there was no mention of anything. And that was kind of
Right.
awkward in the first instance and more awkward in the second instance.
Yeah.
So that was kind of memorable.
What's this air of fucking, like nationalism?
Yeah,
Like being so
Yeah,
like,
it's
attached
natural.
to your
It's natural. It's natural. It's kind of, well, obviously it's a cultured, but it's naturally a cultured, because belonging to a territory, belonging to a people, belonging to a set of values, just parameterizes you in a way.
Well, there's like a
that-
difference between like cultural affinity and national affinity, right? Like,
Yes,
for
it is.
example, like my grandparents moved from India to East Africa, Kenya before partition, right? And then from East Africa, they moved to Canada, right? So that's sort of my diaspora journey, right? Of how my people got here. But so they don't have Pakistani passports. They were never nationally Pakistani. They were never Pakistani civilians, right? Or like part of that civil structure. What they were ethnically like Mughal, right? In India. So it's interesting that people ascribe like definition to especially newer states, right? Like if a state's been around for like a long or extended period of time, yeah, these sort of the line between ethnic, linguistic, and cultural identity blur into a sense of nationalism. But with newer countries, right, like with states that have just emerged, like Pakistan is not an old country; it's
Yes, yes.
extremely
it's not an
new,
old
right? It's
country,
very
and
fresh.
when-
So
especially when
these
it's
sorts of
challenged
national
by-
identities, yeah.
When you're military, you feel militarily challenged.
Yeah, so there's this association with ethnicity and identity to the state of Pakistan itself, regardless of whether or not that state is representative of ethnic Mughals or an Islamic structure, right? So there's it's a very like complicated sense of identity to, especially for newer states and ethnic groups within those states to identify themselves nationally. So you get like a very unnuanced like nationalism. Like Pakistan, that's why I think Pakistan nationalism is hilarious. And like we laugh at it a lot. Like it's funny. Like I'll give my life for Pakistan. It's like this is a country that emerged 50 years ago that is rooted in like
that's actually precisely
this,
the reason that it's so new.
Right, that's exactly
that
why
they
it's
value it.
and that's why it's like they value it in this like fervent way because it's so tied up with like how they perceive like an individual or community perceives itself safe
Actually,
we're internationally, especially next to India.
It's
we're brought up this way. It's like
I think it's not like.
Whereas
it's
for
not
me,
like
right,
a-
like with someone, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think it's more of like a natural thing. It's just like a feeling. It's just like a thing that is when you are a minority. So like me being a minority here in Pakistan and stuff. Okay, I have had people in my community and stuff like talk about Muslims in like a very weird ass way, right? Like it's just like a natural thing. I think the natural thing is when you become like a minority, you become more tied towards your identity, your like fucking your like whatever identity, even if it's cultural, even if it's national or like whatever it is, right? So the thing does not exist. The idea of the thing exists.
But the thing is, even in the absence of such
Lance.
group identities, people start
Lance
inventing new
he thought I
values
was 12.
around which they can aggregate themselves. Like, suppose the leftist rightist divide in the West. Now, as it has been in the U.S., the Republican Democrat and
Yeah, well,
because-
the ideological alignment, right, comes out of
because ideological alignment,
especially in the
always
West, comes out of
spurs
like
political
deep
alignment.
cultural roots. Yeah, like the political and ideological alignment comes out of like okay, if you mean capital P politics, yeah, but like the fundamental like root of like liberalism and conservatism has like deep ethnic and religious and linguistic roots within the lineage of America. It's not like not like a modern invention. It's just the continuation of like post monarch Europe, right? That's what it is. But I have to go. But Lance, you're hilarious. You thought I was 12.
Yeah.
I am 12. I just big brain, good genetics, eat a lot of vegetables.
Mughal, fucking Mughal.
I'm Mughal.
Oh
that's not why at all.
Man. Oh my
I'm kidding.
God.
But what I will say is there's definitely
Fucking
like a
white people.
distinction
Mughals are the
between-
fucking white people.
Mughals are the white people of Pakistan. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Han Chinese being the white ones. But
a Mughal general has been promoted to the chief of
Wow,
staff
kya
committee.
baat,
But
mashallah.
he's not white. He's really dark.
But there is like a healthy way to have like an affinity to cultural identity that's like not weird and not like and like works within a society where you have to interact with people from different cultures. Like for example, in Pakistan or like certain enclaves in India, you can spend your entire life in the village or your entire life in the city and not have that Like, and in the States as well, right? You can have like these geographic spots where you don't go around and you don't travel, and you don't meet anyone. You've never traveled outside of your state or region. And if you live in metropolitan areas, or you live in like in you know, you have more one, you have more exposure to people from different cultures, and two, you're forced to interact with them. You have no choice. You have to act with, you know, for example, when you travel to the UK, you have to interact with Sebastian. You have to interact with your friend from Tel Aviv, and you have to do so in a way that's collegial, because you're in, you know, an environment where what is the benefit to you as an individual to like have some sort of conflict with this person? There isn't really. I mean, you're gonna have some ethnic conflict with some. So that's, to me, it's funny, like in Canada, when people have these like ethnic sort of tensions, especially from our cultural background, where it's like, one, you guys are viewed as homogenous. You're viewed as one group. You're viewed as quote unquote brown people by the average Canadian. And two, you are like, you know, should be working together to uplift each other as, you know, a minority group in this country, because, you know,
no,
there's
that is not the thing.
You know,
the thing is when you keep thinking, I don't see color, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, no,
Like,
that's
blind,
fair as well.
right?
I mean,
I am blind. Right?
That's fair as well, right? You might be colorblind, but like, you know, Joe who works at Tim Hortons.
I think we have to go above the color of the skin and all of that stuff. And
no, that's a nice ideal for sure.
Yeah, that is a nice idea.
I mean, but like, it's a nice ideal, right?
Do you ever wake up like in the morning and you're like, holy shit, I'm Asian?
No. But what I mean more is like,
you're like, oh man, I'm fucking brown, man.
What I mean more is not like the supremacy artifacts of like having a cultural or ethnic identity, right? Like if you grow up in a society that's like cosmopolitan and like forcibly pluralist, like you can't go around with this sense of like cultural supremacy. What you can do is value the benefit your culture brings and like shares and incorporates with other people, right? So your food, your language, your history, your tales, your moral base, right, that you can then share and like have dialogue with other people about, and that's where the benefit is. I don't mean like I'm going around waking up every morning like brown pride and raising my fist in the air. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm talking about is like this other level of like cultural significance that you have. Like Italian people love their fucking pasta, right? And they go around and mean like, we love goddamn pasta. Yeah. There's nothing wrong. We go around, we love biryani. But when you go around and say, hey, biryani, you know, like, man. I love my ethnic skin color and we're like superior to you because of like our whatever, then it becomes an issue, right? You're inviting some sort of like
these people think that veggie biryani is a thing.
It is.
It is not a thing, man. I've been fucking trying
Veggie
to
biryani is real. I have to go. Veggie biryani real.
Confirmed. It's palau.
Confirmed on stream. Veggie biryani is real. I have to leave right now, but veggie biryani is real. Confirmed. Everyone confirmed. It's real.
This is the conspiracy theory on this channel, that everybody thinks that veggie biryani exists, right? And it's like there's no way to convince them otherwise. Yo, they're like ordering veggie biryani in America and just posting, DMing me. Look at this. I ordered.
By the way, the blacks in the UK, they love biryani. They eat biryani to I mean, which is like appropriate to be eaten by some, let's say, well, 3 people. 1 man will eat that.
They like biryani?
Just devour into it. Yes.
Maybe this is why we don't see color, man. Like,
I don't know. They love biryani.
See, what does that tell us about the universe? Huh?
Blacks really like biryani.
I love vegetable. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as veg. It's called palau, right? It's not. It's not.
There is a thing called pilau.
Yeah.
And then there is biryani.
It's specifically chicken biryani, right?
Especially if you check that Mad Mughal memes page, you'll just notice.
At this point, they just say it to annoy me, right? I know it now.
You know they're fucking you, Mrs. Olsen.
What?
You know they're messing with you, dude, with that invest.
But you don't believe in veggie biryani, do you?
He believes in veggie biryani as well.
I call it plow.
No, you're an Indian. You know things. How can you say such?
I call it plow. Dude, come on.
Yeah,
man.
he
I
called
call
it palav. as well.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's good. That's good. That's
That's
good. Very
acceptable.
good. Yes, we are gatekeeping biryani, right? We are the gatekeepers of biryani. Yeah, yeah.
बिरयानी से याद आया कहूँगा मैं
हाँ।
2 हफ्ते को मैं हर हफ्ते बनाए
Oh, God, give me a minute. My cat wants to
शर्म तो
get
नहीं
out.
आती है Me- so okay, I'm just mad that I can't try to cook it, right? There's like a billion ingredient. No man, there's like a one ingredient, like a you take biryani masala and then you don't have to like get like a shit ton of ingredients and stuff, and I don't think it's available in wherever you live. Yeah.
I think let's close the session
Yeah,
for today.
let's just close it. How many hours did we? 3 hours.
3:30 is
Yeah.
3.5
Next time
hours.
I'll just call upon the people who are like the politics and
It was
stuff.
lovely talking to
Yeah.
all of you people.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it'll be way more like it's sort of like a group talking about a
Whatever.
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
have to discuss the thing too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of awkward.
I couldn't join because I was on a date. Fuck up plans. I will go on a date, right? Okay. Okay. Take care. K to the C. Take care. Take care. Mystery. Take care. Lance. Right.
Allah Hafiz.
Yes. And the true righteous path to live is to become a Muslim. Right?
Yes.
Yes. That's
Allahu
why.
Akbar.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Take care.